A high-grade saint artifact is indeed powerful, but do you think I don't have one? Lin Xian took out the Great Destruction Spear. A terrifying demonic aura surged out and filled the area. Thunder God City's older generation experts sneered. So it's a demonic weapon. It's suppressed here. What do you have to compete with us? Even in a one-on-one fight, the other party was already suppressed, let alone when the two of them fought together. Is that so? You'll see soon enough. Lin Xian coldly snorted. He didn't say anything else and quickly made his move. He was courting death. The two people on the other side also charged over. The battle erupted once again. However, this time, Lin Xian suddenly took out a pagoda and blasted it towards the Thunder God City's old man. Boom! As soon as the pagoda appeared, heaven and earth rumbled and the surroundings trembled. You want to contend against me? The Thunder God City's old man roared. He held 90% of the lightning pagoda in his hand and was extremely powerful. However, in the next moment, he trembled. His 9-layered lightning pagoda was actually suppressed. In fact, he was enveloped by the pagoda and was completely sucked into it, disappearing. What was going on? The surrounding people were stunned. What was that pagoda? One had to know that the 9-layered lightning pagoda in the hands of the Thunder God City's old man was a high-grade artifact. However, it still couldn't block even a single attack. It was hard to imagine what kind of trump card Lin Xian had in his hands. What Lin Xian took out was naturally the Great Sage Pagoda. He first used the Great Sage to restrain his opponent. Then, he held the Great Destruction Spear in his hand and charged towards the New Moon Clan's middle-aged expert. The middle-aged sage was also shocked. He didn't expect the other party to subdue someone in an instant. He was shocked. But so what? He had unparalleled confidence in his own strength. Kill. With a roar, moonlight surrounded his body and emitted endless sound waves that destroyed everything. On the other side, Lin Xian's body also bloomed with golden light. Monstrous flames swept across the sky and dyed the Great Destruction Spear golden. At this moment, it didn't look like a demonic artifact at all. Instead, it looked like an endless divine artifact. It was extremely powerful. Boom! The monstrous flames surged like a divine fire and enveloped the New Moon Clan's expert. At this moment, Lin Xian went all out. He used the 9 Yang Divine Body, the 5 Elemental Laws, and even the Great Dragon Sword Soul, an unparalleled secret technique. He was too powerful. One attack. The middle-aged sage of the New Moon Clan was sent flying while vomiting blood. Countless cracks appeared on his body. The pain almost made him faint. At the same time, he was stunned. How could it be? How could he be seriously injured with one attack? I don't believe it. He used the Star Moon Clan's secret technique and his broken body healed. The moon above his head kept moving up and down, emitting a sacred light. Bright moon palm. The bright moon hung in the sky. His palm bloomed with a bright light as if it had turned into the palm of a god. He slapped forward fiercely. This was the Star Moon Clan's secret technique. Coupled with an upper sacred artifact, its power was extremely terrifying. Boom, boom. Lin Xian used many secret techniques to fight against it. When the two collided, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Those who were watching the battle from afar were all stunned. They seemed to have turned into statues as they watched in a daze. Was this really a battle between two sages? Why did it seem like two gods were fighting? Even some of the older generation figures had ugly expressions on their faces. Lin Wuti had grown to the point where they couldn't suppress him anymore. Unless a few of them joined forces, it would be difficult to fight against him alone. Boom. In front, the middle-aged man from the Star Moon Clan exchanged 3 moves with Lin Xian. Then, his body broke apart and he let out a miserable cry. His soul drove the upper sacred artifact and quickly escaped. Lin Xian grabbed a golden lotus from the middle-aged man's body and smashed his broken body again. He took the middle-aged man's storage ring. As for the soul and the upper sacred artifact that had escaped, he didn't chase after them. After all, the middle-aged man still had the strength to fight. He'd better deal with the Thunder God Elder first. With a wave of his hand, the Great Sage Tower released the middle-aged man. The old man's eyes were red. Although it had only been a short time, it was enough to make him break down. No matter how he attacked, He couldn't escape. This shocked him. What grade of sacred artifact was the other party? Now that he was out, he roared to the sky. Join forces and kill him. However, to his surprise, his companion had long since disappeared. What was going on? When he felt the other party's sacred blood and broken body, the old man's eyelids twitched wildly. Where was he? Don't tell me you killed him? The old man was terrified as he asked in bewilderment. Chapter 39:13. That's right. Do you want to go down and accompany him? Lin Xian snorted coldly. The old man sucked in a breath of cold air, and his expression became incomparably ugly. He turned around and wanted to escape, not daring to fight anymore. Not to mention Lin Wudi's strength that shocked him. Just the pagoda that trapped him previously made him despair. How could he dare to continue fighting? Want to leave? Lin Xian reached out with his large hand, covering the sky and the sun, and grabbed the heavenly Tao golden lotus on the old man's body. The old man roared angrily. How dare you? He was really angry. As strong as he was, he only had one golden lotus left. If it disappeared, then his speed of comprehending nomological laws would be greatly reduced. How could he be willing to accept this? Want him or want your life? Choose for yourself. Lin Xian's voice was cold. The old man was so angry that he vomited blood. No one had ever dared to threaten him like this. However, when he saw Lin Xian want to use the pagoda again, he was so scared that his scalp went numb. Here, kid. Just you wait. I will get my revenge. In the end, he gave up the heavenly Tao golden lotus and chose to save his life. Lin Xian had 2 more golden lotuses on his body. He felt that his nomological laws were circulating rapidly. It seemed that he was cultivating on his own again. This feeling was really great. He looked around, wanting to seize more Tao flowers. The surrounding people were already prepared. When they saw this scene, they hurriedly retreated frantically. Although treasures were good, they had to be alive to enjoy them. 2 late-stage 5th firmament powerhouses with high-grade artifacts in their hands could not do anything to each other. Needless to say, it was them. Lin Quan retracted his gaze and looked at the cave abode in front of him. In the next moment, he turned into a ray of light and entered. The surrounding people retreated into the distance, but they did not leave. After all, this cave looked incomparably mysterious, and they did not know what treasures there were. But thinking about it, it was definitely extraordinary. So these people were waiting to see if there was any chance. After Lin Xian entered, he found that the cave abode was filled with all kinds of arrays and restrictions. It was very dangerous. He began to patiently crack them. This showed that there were definitely treasures in this cave abode. Half a month later, some of the people outside left, some were still waiting, and some new people wanted to fish in troubled waters. On this day, 2 figures flashed past quickly. Grandpa, there are so many people here. There must be treasures. Of the 2 figures, one was an old man, and the other was a man in his 20s. However, what made everyone's eyes pop out was that the old man actually called the young man Grandpa. This was truly inconceivable. Damn it. Then how old was this young man? Could it be an old monster? Damn, it might be a living fossil. Even such a person had come in. It was not a living fossil, but it was more than 2,000 years old. I know him. He's from the Peacock race. Peacock Sage. The origin of the Peacock clan was definitely not ordinary, not to mention an old monster that had lived for nearly 3,000 years. Grandpa, wait here. I'll ask around for you, the old man said respectfully. Then, he flew over with 5-colored light on his body. He asked coldly, were there any treasures up ahead? The surrounding spectators were unable to withstand this aura at all. Thus, they recounted everything that had happened. After the old man returned, he said, Grandpa, I've checked clearly. There is indeed a treasure. However, someone had already beaten them to it. Should we kill our way in? Who is it? The man stood with his hands behind his back and asked coldly. The old man said, it's Lin Wudi. He defeated 2 level 5 saints and took the cave abode. Lin Wudi, is it him? The peacock man's eyes flickered. Then he looked at the cave abode. A 5-colored light burst out from his eyes. Then he sneered. So it's him. Don't worry, let's wait outside. There are many arrays in this cave abode. It's very troublesome to crack them. Why don't we let this kid crack them for us? When he comes out, we'll kill him and the treasure will be ours. Are we going to reap the benefits? Grandpa, that's a good idea. The old man laughed. Then, the two of them waited there. This wait lasted for 2 months. Many people were impatient and were ready to leave to look for other treasures. Inside the cave abode, Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. He had been cracking the arrays day and night for 2 months. Finally, he tore open the array and walked inside. The great Tao intertwined in front of him, and multicolored light shone. Among those streams of light, there was a golden light that was incomparably dazzling. Lin Xian looked carefully and found that the golden light was a page of scripture. Could it be a supreme technique? Lin Xian was overjoyed and reached out to grab it. It caused endless flames to jump. Dazzling flames erupted from the golden book and swept toward him. Lin Xian felt a stinging pain, and his face was filled with horror. It's too powerful. One had to know that his divine body was the most masculine, and the 9 suns' divine fire could destroy everything. But at this moment, the flames in front of him could hurt him. How astonishing was the power of this attack! He snorted coldly, and the golden palm became even more dazzling. At the same time, the great dragon sword soul roared, and the power of the palm increased again. In the end, Lin Xian kept triggering the unparalleled secret technique, and finally, the power was 5 times stronger. His palm was like the hand of a god. In an instant, he grabbed the page of the golden book. Then, he pulled it out of the light. Chapter 39:14. Lin Xian thought for a moment and decided to give it a try. In any case, he had no clue. He directly took out the void divine furnace. This void divine furnace was incomparably mysterious. Its aura was not weaker than the Great Sage Tower. However, it could not be used to attack. Lin Xian threw the page of the scripture in. The void divine furnace emitted an endless aura of chaos. The page of the scripture did not disappear. Instead, it floated in the chaos. Suddenly, it erupted with a brilliant light. The entire cave abode was illuminated. Lin Xian jumped. The aura within the light was too terrifying. It was as if a sun had appeared in front of him. Lin Xian felt that his body was about to be roasted. What was this thing? Lin Xian's eyes widened. He discovered that many patterns had appeared on the page of the scripture. It was like a supreme great Tao that carried a monstrous aura. It was as if divine flames were jumping one after another. Lin Xian did not know what it was. However, he knew that it was definitely a supreme treasure. Moreover, the power of the yang energy contained in it was too violent. That's great. I can use this to cultivate the laws. Moreover, I can also improve the power of the 9 yang divine body. Lin Xian was overjoyed. He sat down cross-legged to comprehend it. Time slowly passed. Another 3 months had passed. Lin Xian condensed a trace of the laws. This speed was too fast. However, there was only one chance. Lin Xian had 3 golden lotuses. His speed was extremely fast. It was comparable to decades of cultivation outside. More importantly, the divine fire that Lin Xian possessed was of the purest yang attribute. It was as pure as celadone. He was just short of an opportunity to condense the laws. Now, this page of the scripture was an opportunity. Therefore, he was able to condense the laws in a short 3 months. This law was called the solar law. This was an extremely masculine law. Once it was condensed, Lin Xian felt that his 9 yang divine body had also become stronger. Although he was unable to condense a 5th sun, his power was still a lot stronger than before. More importantly, he could now fuse the sun law and the death law to form a true taiji. However, this step was even more difficult. It couldn't be done here. Lin Xian originally wanted to continue cultivating in one go, but at this moment, a loud noise came from outside. Was someone attacking the cave? Forget it. Looks like I'll have to find another opportunity to cultivate. Lin Xian placed a page of scripture into the illusionary divine furnace. Then, he put the void wave divine furnace away. He walked outside. Outside, there were indeed people attacking. It was the 2 powerhouses from the peacock race. It was that old man. He couldn't wait any longer. What was this kid doing in there? He had already been in there for more than 5 months. Could it be that he still hadn't cracked the formation? Or perhaps there was a treasure inside and it was eaten by the other party. He couldn't help but want to make a move. At that moment, the peacock man nodded. Make that brat come out. Even if he ate some kind of heavenly treasure, I will still drink his blood. After receiving the order, the old man attacked without hesitation. A terrifying light burst forth, forming a terrifying bombardment. As a result, the surrounding people all gathered. Heavens, the peacock race really couldn't hold back and were about to make a move. It had been more than 5 months, almost half a year, and Lin Wudy still hadn't come out. No one would be able to bear it. If it was outside, it wouldn't be a problem to wait for 100 years. However, this was the destined bride. They couldn't stay here for too long. Wasting 5 months was already a great waste. Indeed, the destined planet opened for a very short period of time. According to past experience, the shortest was 3 years, and the longest was 8 or 9 years. This period of time was nothing to these saints. It could be said to be very short. Therefore, on the destined planet, these people were crazily plundering resources. One had to know that if one wanted to comprehend a law outside, or even improve it a little, it would take hundreds or thousands of years. However, here, their time could be shortened by dozens or hundreds of times. For example, Lin Xian could use a page of the scripture to condense a law in 3 months. This was something that could not be done in the outside world. Lin Wudy, get out here. Not only did that old man attack, but he also roared crazily. The cave abode trembled more and more violently. At that moment, a figure walked out from inside. Who is making a big fuss here and disturbing my cultivation? Lin Wudy came out. The people in the distance stopped fighting for treasures. Instead, they stopped and looked over. They were incomparably shocked. What benefits did Lin Wudy obtain? Why do I feel that his aura has become even more terrifying than before? You are Lin Wudy? The old man's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Quickly get over here. Tell me, what treasures did you obtain in there? Show me. Are you robbing me? Lin Xian turned his head and stared at the old man. Then, he glanced at the young man not far away. He snorted coldly. Old man, are you tired of living? You want to bring your grandson here to broaden his horizons? However, I have to say, you really don't know what's good for you to target me. Hearing this, the corners of the people in the distance twitched. The atmosphere was incomparably strange. The old man was also angry. You are courting death. How dare you be disrespectful to my grandfather? Lin Xian was also stunned. This young man was the old man's grandfather? He could not believe it. However, he quickly came back to his senses. He knew that in the world of cultivation, one's appearance could not be used to estimate one's age. Age meant that one was old, but that did not mean that one was old. For example, some people looked like teenagers, some looked like middle-aged people, and some looked like young people. The methods of a sage were extremely powerful. It was very easy for them to change their appearance. He looked past the old man and looked at the young man standing behind him. Then, a cold light bloomed in his eyes. This person gave him a very dangerous aura. As if sensing Lin Xian's gaze, the peacock man also spoke. Since he was not cooperating, then let's do it. Yes, grandfather. The old man quickly nodded. Then, an unparalleled light burst out from his body. A 5-colored sickle quickly formed. It carried a terrifying energy. When the sickle slashed down, the law overflowed and illuminated the sky. This strike was capable of destroying everything. The people in the distance were frightened. The strength of this old man was not weaker than the chief disciple. He had some strength, as expected of an old monster who had lived for thousands of years. However, so what? The old man's strength was comparable to the young chief disciple. Now, Lin Xian's strength had increased greatly. He was still not afraid. The golden hand, with golden law, swept in all directions. Lin Xian used the law of the sun in an instant. He wanted to test the power of this new law of the sun. Chapter 39:15. Heaven and earth were illuminated in an instant. Even the people in the distance were blinded. Damn it, what kind of light is this? It's too bright. I can't look straight at it. Did Lin Wudi become stronger again? These people were terrified. How long had it been? The other party had become stronger again. This speed made them despair. In addition to the resplendent light, they also felt a monstrous heat wave as if a sun had descended beside them. It made their bodies hurt. Their bodies were about to split open. Boom! The sun law blasted on the five-colored scythe. It brought about a monstrous fire that burned fiercely and quickly blocked the saber. How was this possible? The peacock race elder's pupils constricted. His saber could easily split apart a top young prodigy. However, it was easily blocked by the other party. This person's strength was above his expectations. As the two of them fought, power surged. In the end, Lin Xian's sun law was too powerful and directly burned the elder. Half of his body was ignited. He frantically retreated. A five-colored light appeared on his body and kept sweeping, trying to extinguish the flames. However, it took him a lot of effort to suppress it. Then, his eyes were filled with deep shock. The surrounding spectators were also stunned. Why do I feel that his 9 sons' divine fire has become stronger? Yes, it carries the power of the laws. Has he comprehended a new law? These people were extremely shocked. The elder's expression was extremely ugly. In the next moment, her pupils abruptly shrank. That was because Lin Xian had attacked again. This time, Lin Xian used the immemorial Golden Crow's 4 strikes. Of course, he used the Great Dragon Sword Soul to evolve it. Its power was extremely terrifying. The 9 sons' divine fire coupled with the sun law. The 4 immemorial golden crows spun in the sky like 4 suns descending from the heavens. The terrifying heat wave caused the old man to scream miserably. He could not hold it in anymore. This power was too difficult to resist. You want to seize my creation? Let's see if you can live to do so. Lin Xian attacked again. The peacock race elder finally could not hold it in anymore. His body shattered and burned wildly. Grandpa, save me. He let out a miserable cry for help. Wong. At the back, the man who had been silently watching the battle suddenly had a piercingly cold light burst out from his eyes. He opened his mouth and spat out a 5-colored ray of light, which went into the hole. He enveloped the old man's shattered body and soul and brought them out. So powerful. The spectators were all stunned. The 4 golden crows were like paper in front of him. They couldn't stop him at all. Even Lin Xian's expression was incomparably solemn. This person was a little too terrifying. It was fortunate that he knew that the other party was not a young man. Otherwise, he would have thought that it was one of the people on the pilgrim rankings who had made a move. Kid, hand over what you've obtained, and I'll spare your life. I treasure geniuses very much, the man said coldly. It was rumored that there was the blood essence of the immemorial golden crow in there. From his tone, it seemed that he could kill Lin Xian if he made a move. You are overconfident. Perhaps you are very powerful, but in this place, you are at most at the late stage of the 5th heavenly layer. It is not a big deal. If you want my treasure, let's see if you have the life to do so. It was a pity that such a top genius would fall here today. The man from the peacock race sighed and shook his head. Buzz. He made a move. As he took a step forward, the nomological laws on his body swept out wildly, making it difficult for everyone to breathe. This person was really too powerful. Lin Xian was also greatly suppressed. However, in the next moment, he roared and a golden light bloomed on his body. The nomological laws of the sun burned fiercely. He was like the sun god of war, charging forward forcefully. The entire world was completely illuminated. No one could see it all. They could only hear a thunderous sound. It was obvious that the two of them had already engaged in a great battle. There were also some top experts who had extremely cold light in their eyes. That was the light of runes. They wanted to forcibly observe the battle to catch sight of the two figures. They saw that Lin Xian's body was burning with the sun god fire. He was like the sun god, emitting a terrifying aura. He collided with the man from the peacock race. These people felt their hair stand on end, because the power that Lin Xian displayed was too terrifying. Basically, no one could withstand it. However, the man from the peacock race blocked it. Not only that, but he also attacked forcefully. The 5-colored light on his body revolved around him. He was like a Dharma deity, causing Lin Xian's body to tremble continuously. Lin Xian was forced back, but he charged forward with an even more violent power. The two of them collided in the blink of an eye, exchanging more than 1,000 blows. In the end, 9 suns still revolved around Lin Xian's body. 4 of them rushed into the house, and the shadow of a dragon and a qilin appeared. He forcefully forced the man from the peacock race to retreat. He stood in the void like a Dharma deity. The man from the peacock race did not attack again. Instead, his expression was extremely solemn. Behind him, the old man who had recovered his body was even more dumbfounded. Was his grandfather forced back? This was simply too inconceivable. One had to know that his grandfather was almost 3,000 years old. His strength was terrifying, but now he was forced back by a young man. If he had not seen it with his own eyes, he would not have believed it even if he was beaten to death. The man from the peacock race looked even more gloomy. A violent aura surged from his body. It was obvious that he was going to use his killing move. However, at this moment, a blood-red pillar of light shot up into the sky from the distant horizon. Then, it quickly disappeared. A few powerful auras rushed over from the horizon. A rare treasure had appeared. "Kid, you're lucky. Let's go." The man from the peacock race waved his hand and brought the old man with him. They turned into a 5-colored stream of light and rushed into the distance. It seemed that he was going to fight for the rare treasure. In his opinion, the essence blood of the primordial golden crow had been eaten by Lin Wudi. After he obtained the rare treasure, he would return to find Lin Wudi and kill him. He would refine Lin Wudi's blood. That would also be very effective. Therefore, he was not in a hurry. First, he would fight for the rare treasure. Let's go take a look. The onlookers were also shocked. Although they might not be able to obtain it, they still wanted to see what kind of treasure had appeared to cause such a phenomenon. Lin Xian also looked into the distance. He turned into a golden stream of light and rushed into the distance. Now that his strength had increased greatly, how could he not go after the rare treasure? Although the Yin Yang Hall was only a hall, it was like a world inside. It was boundless. The area of the astral sun was also vast. In the distance, some experts were dumbfounded. A blood-red 8 trigrams appeared above their heads. Chapter 39:16. Logically speaking, this kind of thing should be in a cold and gloomy area, but it appeared here. If they had sensed it, they wouldn't have been surprised. The blood-colored light carried a scorching aura as if it could burn everything. People arrived one after another. When they arrived, they were also incomparably shocked. At this moment, a great battle had already broken out, and it was extremely terrifying. Moreover, many experts of the holy city had fallen here. In the sky, the blood 8 trigrams were dyed red, and the ground was dyed red by the blood of these saints. These saints were all saints who cultivated the laws of fire and light. Their saint blood contained incomparably terrifying power. At this moment, when they gathered together, it was truly terrifying. The surrounding people hid and watched because there were a few people fighting in front of them. The power was like a vast ocean, so they didn't dare to approach at all. One of them had a head of golden hair and a sharp gaze. He held a large saber in his hand and slashed in all directions, splitting a few fifth heaven saints apart. That terrifying power made people think that the Golden Crow Prince had been resurrected. However, when they looked, they realized that it wasn't him. Although the other party also had a pair of golden wings, he wasn't from the Golden Crow clan, but from the Thousand Demon City. It was a golden rock, and his strength was unparalleled. On the other side, a woman held a long sword, and flames danced all over her body. Her strength was equally terrifying. After killing a few fifth celestial layer experts, she and the golden rock started fighting. Could it be that the people of the Thousand Demon City had an internal conflict? These people were shocked. They discovered that the fiery red woman seemed to be a demon beast, and there seemed to be the phantom of a fire phoenix on her body. Could she be from the Phoenix clan? Everyone's scalps went numb. That fire phoenix wasn't from the Thousand Demon City, but from the Thousand Swords Pavilion. The Thousand Swords Pavilion was also one of the holy cities. Moreover, the sect was filled with sword saints who used sword techniques. Their strength was terrifying. Therefore, everyone was from the 10,000 ancient races, but they belonged to different holy cities. At this moment, they really didn't show any mercy. The two of them exchanged blows, and it was earth-shattering. However, in the end, they were evenly matched. Neither of them could do anything to the other, so they retreated to one side. In addition, there were some experts watching the battle. They didn't act rashly because they realized that the blood 8 trigrams in the sky didn't seem to be open yet. However, it seemed that it was about time. More and more experts arrived. Suddenly, a streak of light flashed past, causing everyone's scalps to go numb. Who were they? They felt that this 5-colored light was really too terrifying. They all looked over and saw 2 figures appear there, a young man and an old man. The 5-colored divine light on their bodies seemed to be the light of the peacock race's bloodline. Could they be 2 great cultivators from the peacock race? These people discussed animatedly. The golden rock and the fire phoenix also cast their gazes over, and their expressions became incomparably solemn. The Peacock clan's strength was incomparably terrifying. This time, not only were there people from the younger generation, there were even more experts from the older generation. In the face of a peerless treasure, they would not show any mercy at all. Wong. At this moment, another golden light streaked across the sky and turned into a man. Like the sun god of war, he stood in the void. When the 2 people from the peacock race saw this, they snorted coldly. How dare they come here? The old man gnashed his teeth. As for the peacock man, his eyes shone brightly. This time, he would definitely capture him. The others also looked over. Who was this? He was so handsome and extraordinary. Soon, some people's eyelids twitched. Damn, could he be Lin Wudi? Was it really him? As expected, he was also here, and it seemed like he wanted to snatch the treasure. Oh no, our chief disciple is not here. Some people from the sacred city had ugly expressions. Don't be afraid. Although the chief disciple is not here, the experts from the sacred city are here. We are not afraid of him either. Some people's eyes shone with piercing cold light. Indeed, there were many experts in the middle stage of the 5th heaven. There were even experts in the later stage. They were definitely strong enough to fight against the other party. Damn it, Lin Wudi. Among them, there were 3 figures with flames burning on their bodies. They were so angry that they gritted their teeth. These were the people from the Golden Crow race. They hated them. Previously, in the Golden Palace, their 7th prince was killed by someone. Most of their people were killed. Only a small number of them managed to escape. They did not expect to meet the other party here. They were so angry that their teeth were about to shatter. In the distance, a figure also shouted coldly, "You are Lin Wudi. You dared to kill the 9-headed Qilin. Come and let me send you to hell." The one who spoke was the Golden Rock. The golden saber in his hand was emitting a piercing cold light. As an expert from the Demon City, how could he let Lin Wudi go? The other experts from the Sacred City were also gritting their teeth. Lin Wudi had killed many experts from the Sacred City. Now that they saw him, they naturally wanted to kill him. Lin Xian looked disdainfully at the 8 barren lands. The corners of his mouth raised into a cold smile. Whoever is not convinced and wants to fight, step forward. I will deal with him now. The law of the sun on his body was burning fiercely, blooming with incomparable light. Damn it! Damn it! Feeling Lin Xian's aura, the surrounding people were so angry that they vomited blood. Damn it! The other party's strength had increased again. It was really infuriating. Kid, don't be arrogant. If my grandfather attacks with all his strength, you will definitely die. The elder from the Golden Crow race gritted his teeth and said. He was severely injured by the other party and couldn't wait to kill the other party. Lin Xian glanced at the other party and sneered. You have lived for so long, and even I can't defeat you. How dare you be here? Get lost. The peacock race was powerful, but so what? They were just tied. The other party couldn't do anything to him. Damn it, grandfather, kill him. The elder vomited blood. The man's voice was cold. He would take the other party's life later and see how things go. His eyes were fixed on the blood 8 trigrams in the sky. Lin Xian also looked up at the 8 trigrams in the sky, a look of surprise on his face. The yin-yang 8 trigrams. He was too excited. This thing was definitely very important to him. He had to get the secret inside. Everyone was waiting for the right time. However, a few days later, they were surprised. The blood 8 trigrams suddenly turned into a bolt of lightning and rushed into the distance. Oh no, he was escaping. Chase him. We can't let him escape. These people were anxious. After waiting for so many days, how could they let him escape? These people attacked crazily. The speed of the blood 8 trigrams was too fast, surpassing everyone. Even Lin Xian couldn't catch up with him using the Kuan Pong movement technique. They could only look at the red light from afar and chase after him. After chasing for a few days, they stopped. They realized that the blood 8 trigrams had stopped. However, this area was no longer the Yang region, but the Yin and Yang region in the middle. In this place, there was both the power of Yang and the power of Yin. The blood 8 trigrams emitted light, and Yin and Yang qi floated in the middle, turning into Yin and Yang fishes. After some experts saw this, they couldn't help but sigh. The power of Yin and Yang was too mysterious. Chapter 39:17. That's right, very few people can directly control this kind of origin energy. It's said that some ancient stars have yin-yang sect that can control this kind of origin energy. It's just that our second star realm doesn't seem to have it. Several holy cities experts were discussing in low voices. Don't even think about it. This kind of energy can only be found in the buried emperor star or the origin star. Apart from that, it's very difficult to find it anywhere else. We can only cultivate some related energy, but we can't directly cultivate this kind of origin energy. Lin Xian, who was listening on the side, was also incomparably astonished. He thought of the yin-yang sect. It's a holy land of the true spirit world that can use this kind of yin-yang energy. At that time, he didn't think much of it, but now it seems that it's really amazing. After he left the true spirit world and stepped on the ancient starry sky path, he rarely saw people using this kind of origin energy. Now that he heard the words of these holy cities experts, he was even more astonished. It seems that besides the yin-yang sect of the true spirit world, only the legendary buried emperor star has such an unparalleled sect. Apart from that, there's also primal chaos energy and spatial energy. These kinds of peerless abilities are also very rare. He doesn't know when he'll be able to go to the buried emperor star to take a look. Moreover, he also has a trace of longing for the true spirit world. After leaving that world for so many years, he wondered what it had become. Would it enter an era of martial Tao prosperity due to the revival of the 10,000 ancient races? However, once one stepped on the ancient starry sky path, it's very difficult to turn back, unless there's a special opportunity. Lin Xian withdrew his thoughts because there are experts flying over from the distance. These people are flying over from the yin-yang region. They arrived at the yin-yang region and looked at the blood 8 trigrams in the sky. This is an incredible fortune. In the surroundings, Huafeng, Jin Peng, and the others' expressions were incomparably gloomy. It seems that their opponents have increased again. Many experts came from those yin-yang regions. Some of them made them feel apprehensive. Lin Xian also saw Gao Yu and the mysterious woman in black. The appearance of these two peerless beauties attracted countless gazes. The two beauties also looked to the blood 8 trigrams with astonishment on their faces. This group of people was incomparably shocked. At the same time, their eyes were burning with passion. Such a heaven and earth phenomenon is incomparably precious. Great, they were going to be rich this time. Everyone, I think it's necessary for us to first work together to eliminate some people. Someone stood up and pointed at Lin Xian. Their goal was very obvious. They wanted to join forces to kill Lin Xian. Yes, I agree. I also agree. The people from both the yin and the yang sides all had ferocious expressions on their faces. Some of them were glowing like fire gods. Some of them had cold and gloomy auras, like demons. However, these people were all working together to suppress Lin Xian. Attack me? Lin Xian snorted coldly. He smiled. He was just worried that these people would not dare to make a move. Since that was the case, he would not be lenient. The solar laws flew out, opening and closing, sweeping in all directions. Boom, boom. A sun exploded, and the bodies of several saints were set ablaze and burned to ashes. Cries of agony could be heard. Do you still want to fight? Lin Xian looked disdainfully at Ba Huang. The surrounding people were stunned. Heavens, how did Lin Wudi's strength become even more terrifying than before? Killing these fifth heaven saints was no different from cutting cabbages? Gao Yu was surprised. Could it be that this guy's strength had increased again? It was really unbelievable. She realized that she could not keep up with his pace. As a proud daughter of the heavens, she could not believe it. The mysterious woman in black beside her also revealed a look of surprise. This person was really incredible. Kid, do you want to die? At this moment, a loud shout was heard. Everyone turned their heads and realized that the one who roared was the Golden Rock. At this moment, the Golden Rock's body was filled with killing intent. He was really angry. Among them, the other party had killed many of the Demon City's experts. Damn it, a few of them had their corpses taken away by the other party. What did the other party want to do? Coupled with the fate of the Golden Crow clan, there was no need to think that the other party would definitely take them out to make delicious food. How could he bear it? Kid, get over here and die. He roared, and the saber light on his body swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. The entire sky began to tremble, and countless large cracks appeared in the sky. The surrounding people were horrified. Heavens, this golden rock was really too powerful. This was a powerhouse of the previous generation, right? His strength swept through everything. Many people swallowed their saliva wildly. The eyelids of those older generation figures were also twitching wildly. Not only was this person's law powerful, his bloodline and physique were even more terrifying. In the sky, those golden saber lights interweaved, forming a wave, and instantly charged towards Lin Xian. Those people around Lin Xian fled frantically, leaving behind a vacuum. Buzz. Lin Xian brandished his fist and smashed out. Sun Law erupted, transforming into golden crows that circled between heaven and earth, directly sending those golden saber lights flying. His body was similarly incomparably powerful. You want to make a move? I haven't eaten a roasted golden rock yet. The surrounding people were stunned. Such a terrifying saber light could sweep through everything, but it was unable to hurt Lin Wudi. Wasn't the other party too strong? He had already surpassed the average chief disciple. Most likely, not many people could suppress him. The golden rock had a hint of surprise in his eyes. He had heard that Lin Wudi was able to defeat Lei Zhan's 9-headed Qilin. He was very strong. But so what? He was not a disciple of this generation. He was a powerhouse of the previous generation. Why would he be afraid of a young newcomer? However, when he attacked now, the other party's strength surprised him. Could it be that the other party's strength was already not weaker than his? This made him unable to believe it. The Golden Rock's eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent. He had some ability. No wonder he dared to be so arrogant. However, you are still not my match. Now get over here obediently and kneel down. I'll give you a quick death. What big words. Who do you think you are? Can you beat me? But I'm very interested in you. If you don't want to die a horrible death, turn yourself into a skewer and wait for me to enjoy. Facing the other party's threat, Lin Xian was still not afraid. He even shouted back. The surrounding people were all stunned. He was really a foodie. But thinking about the Golden Rock, what kind of scene would it be? They did not dare to imagine. This Lin Wudi was dangerous. The Golden Rock was stronger than the average chief disciple. I reckon that there will be a great battle next. Some people had already quietly retreated and distanced themselves, afraid that they would be affected by the battle later. Sure enough, the Golden Rock was so angry that his entire body trembled. No one dared to treat him like this. Even Lei Zhan and the 9-headed Qilin did not dare to. Good boy, you have guts. I'll kill you later and see if you have the guts of a bear or a leopard. Chapter 39:18. However, the moment he attacked, he felt a sense of danger. It turned out that the 1-pound Huafeng was eyeing him covetously. Damn it, could it be that this woman wants to attack secretly? Thinking of this, the Golden Rock was shocked and did not attack rashly. After all, his peerless enemy was the Huafeng. Whether it was strength or bloodline, the other party was not weaker than him. If the other party sneaked an attack on him when he was killing Lin Xian, it would be a disaster. He did not attack. Therefore, he did not make a move. Instead, he stared coldly at Lin Xian. Lin Xian was also stunned. You didn't attack? Why? You don't dare? Are you really afraid of becoming a barbecue skewer? Don't worry, I'm a very merciful person. I won't kill you. Cut off your wings and give them to me. I'll make 2 barbecue wings and I'll spare your life. Brat, go ahead. I'll make you wish you were dead later. The golden rock gritted his teeth in anger. This brat is too detestable. We must avenge our highness. The few people from the golden crow race said coldly. In this place, there shouldn't be that mysterious expert interfering, right? Then he must be killed this time. 2 golden crow experts stood out. Their eyes were red. This time, they must kill the other party. The 2 of them attacked with peerless divine abilities and quickly charged over. The surrounding people were stunned. It seemed that the people from the golden crow race really wanted to take revenge. Lin Xian sneered. You still dare to come? Then go to hell to find your highness. He attacked forcefully, and the sun law illuminated the area. Beside him, illusions of suns appeared one after another, bobbing up and down. The terrifying aura made one's scalp tingle. Boom, boom. After an intense battle, the 2 golden crow experts screamed miserably. One of them was charred black. There was a burnt smell in some places. The other expert was blasted apart by a punch. The 2 of them screamed miserably and fled in panic. The surrounding people were stunned. He's too strong. Even the 2 golden crow experts were no match for him. No wonder he could kill the golden crow prince. Do you still want to leave? Lin Xian used the solar laws to unleash the ancient golden crow's 4 strikes. For immemorial golden crow phantoms appeared in the sky and enveloped the 2 golden crow experts. Then, energy exploded and the 2 were completely annihilated. Everyone went crazy. This was really a huge irony. The elite of the Golden Crow tribe had died under the Golden Crow unique skill. This was a crazy slap to the face. Lin Xian coldly snorted. Looking at the bloody mist, he shook his head and said, I already said that you 2 are not my match, but you didn't listen. If that's the case, then go to hell. The surrounding spectators felt their scalps go numb. This was truly a demon king. They definitely couldn't afford to provoke him. However, in the next moment, they screamed because they discovered that someone else had made a move. Damn it! Who is it? Who dares to make a move at this time? What they didn't know was that the person who made the move was surrounded by a black aura, as if he was the Grim Reaper from hell. He attacked forcefully. His terrifying and cold aura was rarely seen in the surroundings. What kind of person was this? Everyone retreated in fear. Lin Xian was also stunned. This person was very strong, and he even concealed his aura. Could it be that he was afraid of being discovered? Lin Xian sneered as his solar laws shone brightly. You dare to fight me? Lin Xian's solar laws illuminated the area. It burned all the cold aura. That pitch-black person didn't say anything, but the killing intent on his body became even more terrifying. His palms kept forming seals, and the cold aura around him quickly condensed. The law of darkness kept roaring and condensing into a headless night. It was too terrifying. It was as if he had walked out of the abyss of hell. The knight waved his long sword and slashed down with the law of the heavens. Everyone was shocked. Lin Xian was also shocked. He had to admit that this divine ability was really too strong. However, he was only shocked, but not afraid. As his hands opened and closed, countless seas of fire were formed. There were also countless golden crows floating in his hands. They carried the monstrous sun and moon as they charged out. Terrifying power kept colliding, shattering all directions. Neither side was suppressed in this shadowy area. Therefore, the attacks were unparalleled. After hundreds of moves, Lin Xian roared and shot out a golden fire dragon. The divine dragon swung its tail and directly whipped that person, sending him flying. He spat out a mouthful of blood. The black mist on that person's body trembled violently. However, it was soon covered up again. However, there were still some people who saw the other party's true appearance. They immediately sucked in a breath of cold air. What? It was actually him. It was too unbelievable. How could such a person be injured? They were too shocked. The black figure was also extremely shocked. The killing intent on his body soared into the sky. A long sword, a long spear, a wild saber, and a pagoda floated around him, emitting a desolate aura. A law weapon? Heavens, this person actually condensed so many law weapons. What was he trying to do? Incredible. Once these law weapons were released, no one would be able to resist. They were not weaker than 4 sacred artifacts. Exclamations sounded one after another. Lin Xian also frowned. Then, he sneered. The law of death condensed in his left hand, forming a wild saber of death. The law of sun condensed in his right hand, forming a sun god sword. The saber and sword slashed forward together. 2 completely opposite laws appeared on the same person at this moment, causing the surrounding people to exclaim, "Kill!" The 2 roared and attacked each other. Monstrous light swept across the sky, and the surrounding people kept retreating. It was too violent. Wherever the 2 of them passed, nothing could stop them. Damn it, who was this person? How could he fight Lin Wudi to this extent? The young prodigies were shocked. However, some of the older generation snorted coldly. What did they know? It was Lin Wudi who could fight him to this extent that shocked them. Do you know where this person came from? He came from the depths of planet Tianming. What? Was he one of those young master's subordinates? They had come as well. Some people knew the inside story and were extremely shocked. Who else could enter the depths of planet Tianming except for those on the pilgrim roll? These people should be the subordinates of the powerhouses on the pilgrim roll. Although they were subordinates, they were extremely terrifying prodigies. Their strength was even stronger than the chief disciples, because they were not from the same era. When such a person appeared, the older generation powerhouses had to retreat. But now, Lin Wudi was getting stronger and stronger. It was really unbelievable. This Lin Wudi was too heaven-defying. If he was given more time, it would not be long before he began to attack the pilgrim roll. If one wanted to enter the pilgrim roll, they had to enter the small saint realm first. Otherwise, they would not even be qualified. Everyone discussed as they watched the battle in front of them. In front of them, terrifying laws filled the air, and all kinds of divine abilities appeared one after another. The black figure was beaten back and kept vomiting blood. Damn it, how was this possible? Before he came, he did not take the other party seriously at all. But now, he was injured, especially at the end, when the death demonic saber and sun god sword erupted together, and there was actually a fusion power that scared him out of his wits. He quickly tore open the void and escaped. Chapter 39:19. Had he left? Such a powerful figure had actually been scared away. The surrounding people were all silent. Lin Wudi alone had suppressed everyone until they couldn't raise their heads. He was too strong. Who could resist him when fighting for the 8 trigrams? No one dared to say anything. Lin Xian occupied the sky alone and stood there. In the previous battle, he had killed 2 golden crow powerhouses, but they didn't have many Dao flowers on them. There were less than 500 in total. He had a look of disdain on his face. How could a golden crow powerhouse be so poor? As for the last person, he had run too fast. He hadn't had time to harvest. He had let the other party escape. He guessed that the other party must have mastered a secret escape technique. Under normal circumstances, he would have charged over quickly. But now was not the time. He had to get the summons from the blood 8 trigrams. Even so, Lin Xian's 3 heavenly Dao golden lotuses were still very eye-catching. Many people swallowed their saliva in envy. After all, Lin Xian was just standing there. He didn't need to cultivate. The nomological laws on his body were being tempered every second. This was the effect of the heavenly Dao golden lotuses. In the end, even the golden rock was jealous. Kid, give me your heavenly Dao golden lotuses and I'll spare your life. Sure, give me your 2 roasted wings in exchange. Lin Xian swallowed his saliva. You're courting death. The golden rock was really angry. He slashed down with the long saber in his hand. It seemed that he was ready to make a move. The terrifying golden saber light suddenly expanded like a golden bolt of lightning. It descended from the sky, surrounded by monstrous killing intent and terrifying laws. Boom! The laws of the sun revolved above Lin Xian's palm. He struck out with his palm and hit the golden saber light. There was a thunderous sound, and the void collapsed. The two of them were evenly matched in this exchange, and both of them took 2 steps back. Interesting. Let's try again. Lin Xian burst out laughing as he slapped out with his palm once more. It was as though an entire world was being swept out before him. The golden rock was completely enraged. If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. He didn't plan to hold back anymore. Even if the fire phoenix attacked secretly, he was fearless. He had to kill him. The golden saber in his hand slashed in all directions. An astonishing battle began, blasting heaven and earth apart. The people around them were stunned. They didn't expect that the two of them would start fighting just because of a disagreement. Boom, boom. Lin Xian used the law of the sun to form a sun sword. Holding it in his hand, he continuously clashed with the golden saber. The golden sword and golden saber set off endless waves. The resplendent light was so bright that no one could open their eyes. These two people were really too strong. Even the fire phoenix had a serious look on her face. She considered the golden rock to be her greatest enemy. And now, Lin Wudi was able to fight the golden rock to this extent. Didn't this mean that he already had the ability to contend with them? The others were also incomparably shocked. This battle had lasted for over 1,000 moves. The entire place was in chaos, and no one knew who would win in the end. From the looks of it, it would be a fierce battle between a dragon and a tiger. Even if they fought for 10 days and 10 nights, there might not be a clear winner. Some people shook their heads and sighed. However, at this moment, the blood 8 trigrams in the sky suddenly began to spin. A terrifying and mysterious aura spread out in all directions. The yin and yang qi between heaven and earth were completely mobilized, forming a yin-yang fish in the center of the blood 8 trigrams that kept spinning. Heavens, could it be that the blood 8 trigrams was about to change? It was very likely that a peerless creation was about to be activated. At this moment, everyone was excited. The 8 strange runes on the blood 8 trigrams were emitting a mysterious light. The surrounding people were completely boiling. They didn't know where the blood 8 trigrams came from, but there must be a supreme creation inside. These people's bodies were rapidly spreading out, and all kinds of divine abilities and sacred artifacts appeared one after another. As long as there was a chance, they would attack regardless of the cost. The 8 runes on the blood 8 trigrams were becoming more and more obvious, as if they were about to jump out of the world. It won't be long before the blood 8 trigrams really opens. When that time comes, we can rush in. The eyes of the saints were red. At this moment, Lin Xian and the Golden Rock were still fighting. Both of them were fighting with all kinds of divine abilities. Every attack was filled with monstrous power. The Golden Rock naturally felt that the blood 8 trigrams was about to fully open, so he was a little anxious. He wanted to kill his opponent as soon as possible. Kid, I don't have time to play with you. Go to hell. The aura on the Golden Rock's body surged and shook the surroundings. The long saber in his hand became even colder, like a heavenly saber. The nomological laws on it were incomparably sharp. They kept slashing down, forming a sea of golden saber light. Lin Xian's eyes were also emitting a piercing light. He wanted to get the thing inside the blood 8 trigrams. Buzz. The sun's sword in his hand was like an immortal light that swept between heaven and earth. The two of them kept fighting here, causing the surrounding people to not dare to get close. Damn it, these two can't be thinking of fighting their way in, right? They swallowed their saliva. The young geniuses were about to collapse. Lin Wudi's current performance had completely surpassed theirs. Even some of the older experts felt their scalps go numb. This young man was too amazing. His future was limitless. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, Lin Xian activated the unparalleled secret technique, exploding out 5 times his strength. The sword struck the golden long saber. The Golden Rock's hand trembled violently. Cracks appeared on his palm, and the long saber was sent flying. His entire arm turned into ashes. Blood mist filled the air, dyeing the void red. With a muffled groan, the Golden Rock flew backward. The surroundings were in an uproar. The Golden Rock was injured. How strong was this Lin Wudi? He must have used the unparalleled secret technique just now. Otherwise, his strength couldn't have increased so much in an instant. The long saber swept across the sky and fell to the ground, causing the earth to sink and crack. Some people's eyes instantly turned red. This saber was definitely an upper-grade treasure. If they could snatch it, many people had such thoughts. Why? You dare to have ideas about my treasure? Do you want to die? At this moment, the golden rock shouted coldly. The surrounding people were shocked. Some people gave up on the idea, but some sneered. It was a good opportunity. One of them took out a large cauldron and directly covered the front. Countless seals appeared on the cauldron, as if it could seal a world. Another person also made a move. It was a palm, and on the 5 fingers, there was a super strong seal. This was the 5-kill seal. In addition, some people took out formation flags. In short, there were 5 or 6 experts who made a move. These people used the law to hide their true appearance. No way, someone really dared to have ideas about the golden rock. Although the golden rock was powerful, how could the identity of those who could come here be weak, especially some of the older experts? They didn't have a chance before, but now that they had a chance, how could they let it go? Chapter 39:20. You're courting death. The golden rock roared and waved his hand. The golden saber suddenly bloomed with an extremely terrifying light, causing 2 nearby powerhouses to be instantly sent flying. One of them was cut in half at the waist. The other person had his head chopped off. The other powerhouses were also sent flying by the saber light, spitting out large mouthfuls of blood. Do you all want to die? I'll fulfill your wish. The golden saber flew back, but it was sent flying by a sword. Lin Xian made his move. He would not let the other party hold the saber again. The golden saber was sent flying again and fell to the ground. Lin Xian said, "Whoever wants it, go ahead and take it. I'll stop this person." Damn, is Lin Wuti going to fight the other party to the end? Everyone was shocked, and some people swallowed their saliva. Lin Wuti, you're courting death. The golden rock roared and formed a seal with his palms. The golden saber bloomed with incomparable light, and he charged towards Lin Xian. Even without the saber, the golden rock's strength was very terrifying. He opened his wings, and the golden wings on his back slashed down like 2 heavenly sabers. The power was not weaker than before. Even his claws and feet were unparalleled. They were like a torrential rain, sprinkling in front of him. Lin Xian held a sword in one hand and a fist in the other, fighting against the golden rock. The 2 of them fought in close combat until the sky fell and the earth cracked. At that moment, Lin Xian slashed at the golden rock's head with his sword and punched at the golden rock's heart with his other fist. The power of the attack was boundless, and it could definitely destroy the other party. The golden rock's pupils constricted, and he opened his mouth to spit out a shield. It was a very simple shield with many cracks on it. In a hurry, he blocked in front of himself. With a clang, his chi and blood were in turmoil, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. However, the shield did not shatter. At that moment, the golden rock revealed a cruel smile. Die. The wings on his back opened, and 2 golden feathers flew out. The golden rock's true feathers. These 2 feathers were too powerful. They were simply divine weapons. Lin Xian also felt his blood run cold. Lin Wuti, let's see how you're going to do it. The golden rock laughed sinisterly. There was no way the other party would be able to block these 2 attacks. No one under the minor saint realm would be able to stop him, let alone the other party. Not good. Lin Wuti is in danger. The surrounding people jumped back crazily. Just this aura alone was enough to make me unable to block it. Cracks appeared on their bodies. If they were hit, it would be hard to imagine. Even the 9-yang divine body would not be able to block it, unless Lin Xian was a little saint, or had the same cultivation base as his opponent. But now, Lin Xian's cultivation was a whole realm lower than his opponent's. It was simply impossible for him to block such an attack. Lin Xian felt an extreme sense of danger. He wanted to activate the space escape technique and escape. However, he did not do so. He charged forward, the solar laws on his body bursting with light. He pushed them to their limits, forcefully resisting the 2 golden rock true feathers. 2 golden rock true feathers pierced through his laws and nailed Lin Xian. Puff. The true feathers pierced his body, and blood flowed out. The blood carried a golden radiance, piercing through heaven and earth. Not good. Lin Wudy was injured. Was it true? Even the 9-yang divine body could not block it. These people exclaimed. Some of the older experts shook their heads. They had already guessed that this would be the result. Was he going to lose? Hua Feng shook her head. It seemed that it was not possible. His cultivation base was much weaker than theirs. Even if he could block it for a while, his trump card was still lacking. The golden rock saw that his killing move had succeeded. He looked up to the sky and laughed. Lin Wudy? Divine body? You can't withstand a single blow from me. You are not my opponent at all. He strode over. The aura on his body was extremely strong. He wanted to take advantage of his victory and finish off Lin Xian. When he arrived, he felt a chill run down his spine. His heart was beating wildly. Not good. He quickly retreated, because he discovered that the 2 golden feathers that had pierced into Lin Xian's body had suddenly flown out of his body. They turned into heavenly swords and charged towards him. Damn it! How could this be? This was his divine ability. How could his opponent control it? Stop right there. He roared crazily, but he found that he had only blocked it for a moment. The speed of the feathers did not slow down. Moreover, the distance between the two was too fast. In the blink of an eye, the 2 golden feathers slashed his body. With a squelch, his 2 arms were cut off. The golden rock roared to the sky. The pain drove him crazy. His severed arms fell to the ground. Not only that, the 2 wings on his back were pierced. Blood dyed the sky red. What? How could this be? What happened? What? Why was the golden rock injured? Wasn't Lin Wudy already defeated? Everyone was stunned. They didn't expect that in the blink of an eye, there would be such a shocking reversal. Could it be that Lin Wudy had pretended to lose to make the golden rock careless and then counterattack? Everyone sucked in a cold breath. This Lin Wudy was too confident. Lin Xian activated his divine body. The power in his body surged and quickly healed his injuries. At the same time, he reached out his hand and grabbed the severed arm. Then, he curled his lips and threw it away. It was actually 2 claws. I don't like to eat claws. I like to eat wings. Next time, I'll cut off your wings. Lin Xian stared at his opponent, his eyes shining. The golden rock opposite him was so depressed that he vomited blood. Damn it! How could it be? He was injured. Although both of them were injured, Lin Xian had obviously suffered light injuries. On the other hand, he had lost 2 of his arms. Although he could recover, it was a great humiliation to him. Damn kid, I underestimated you. You actually know such a divine ability. He was really surprised that Lin Xian could suddenly control his divine ability. His severed arms grew back, blooming with an even more dazzling light. His eyes were extremely cold. Just now, I was only careless. You caught me off guard and injured me. Now I know about this strange divine ability of yours. What are you going to use to hurt me next? Is that so? You can try. My trump cards are not just these. But next, I'll definitely break your wings. Lin Xian looked eager. He had eaten the golden crow, but he had not tried the roasted golden rock. This time, he had to try it. However, at this moment, the 8 trigrams above his head suddenly bloomed. 8 mysterious runes, like 8 channels, cast a ray of blood-red light. Was it opened? The surrounding people were shocked. Hurry up and charge. Someone dared to charge in. In the end, he found that he had really entered. When the others saw this scene, their eyes turned red. They could not fall behind. In an instant, these people moved crazily. Soon, someone screamed, "Heavens! Is this the blood essence of a saint? I feel a surge of energy." The people outside had all gone crazy. Chapter 39:21. What kind of treasure would that be? If they could be tempered, their flesh and blood could even improve their bloodline again. These people rushed over crazily. Lin Xian and the Golden Rock did not fight anymore. It was not suitable for a life and death battle at this time. The Golden Rock roared, "Get lost, all of you. He turned into a stream of light and rushed over. The golden saber that had been sent flying flew back into his hand again. With a slash of the saber, a group of saints was split apart. No one dared to stop them as they fled crazily. Lin Xian also made a move. He reached out his golden palm, grabbed at the void, and then pulled forcefully. The entire void was torn in half by him. A large spatial rift spread into the distance. Wherever it passed, nothing could stop it. Some people wanted to resist forcefully, but they were torn to pieces. Just like that, Lin Xian stepped onto the spatial crack and charged in forcefully. After entering, he found a blood pool in front of him. There was some blood in the blood pool. It was incomparably red and emitted a shocking aura. It seemed that it was the blood essence left behind by the ancient saints. At this time, the surroundings were already in a mess. These people were all crazily fighting for their lives. Lin Xian naturally joined in. A large hand in the air directly sent a few saints flying. Then, it grabbed at the blood pool. "How dare you!" Someone roared and stabbed at the large golden hand with a spear. The other people also counterattacked crazily. At this time, no matter who Lin Xian was, if he could not defeat them, they would use all kinds of despicable methods. In short, they could not let him succeed. However, they still underestimated Lin Xian's methods. On the golden palm, Black Death laws suddenly appeared, instantly taking away the vitality of these people. The others were so scared that they retreated frantically. Lin Xian withdrew his palm. He held 6 blood balls in his hand, each of which contained pure energy. Lin Xian took out 6 treasure boxes and put them in. After sealing them, he put them in his storage ring. Then, he attacked again. There were simply too many saints around. Furthermore, there wasn't much essence blood in the blood pool to begin with. Now that Lin Xian had taken away 6 essence blood, these people's eyes turned red. Some of them didn't even have one. Get lost. At this time, the Golden Rock and the Fire Phoenix rushed over. There were also some top experts who were in a chaotic battle. Lin Xian tried again, and in the end, he managed to kill 3 of them. He didn't attack again because there wasn't much left inside. Furthermore, he had obtained enough. He turned into a streak of light and rushed into the distance. At the same time, he surveyed his surroundings. This world was truly too mysterious. Was it the world of gossip? The surroundings were hazy, and there seemed to be no end in sight. Damn it, Lin Wudi was too despicable. The people around were so angry that they vomited blood. 9 of them had been snatched away by the other party. What kind of shocking treasure was this? Their eyes were red. At this time, another 5-colored light flew out and decapitated the heads of several people. Damn it, a peerless expert had arrived. It turned out that 2 experts from the peacock race had walked over, especially the young man from the peacock race. His strength was shocking. Everyone knew that he was a super expert who wasn't weaker than the Golden Rock. Lin Xian didn't care about the blood pool anymore. Instead, he flew forward. He wanted to go to the center of the 8 trigrams because he remembered correctly that there were yin and yang qi there. He wanted to fuse tai chi there. At that time, his strength would definitely increase again. Whether it was the Golden Rock or the peacock, he would kill them all. At this time, there were people in all directions. Everyone also charged towards the depths. They all knew that the most precious thing should be in the innermost area. As soon as Lin Xian approached the area, countless attacks were thrown at him. He didn't even see who the other party was. Humph. Lin Xian snorted coldly and formed a seal. Stellar transposition. This force was sent flying by him. It drew a strange arc in the air and hit his right. Immediately, several screams came from the right. It was obvious that someone had been killed. As for who it was, Lin Xian didn't know at all. He wasn't in the mood to care. Lin Xian's body shone brightly. The image of a Qilin surrounded him. He strode over like a god fiend. Damn it! It's Lin Wudi. What? He came so quickly? The surrounding people screamed in horror. They originally thought that Lin Wudi, the Golden Rock, and the others would be fighting in the blood pool. Could it be that the outcome had been decided so quickly? This person is too strong. We can't get the treasure with him here. How about we join forces to kill him? Someone in the darkness said. He was hidden in the void. No one knew who he was, but the surrounding people were indeed tempted. If they joined forces, there was still a chance. Good. Someone nodded in agreement. The person in the darkness directly attacked. He shot out a piercingly cold ray of light. It was a painting of 800 miles of mountains and rivers. This wasn't an ordinary painting. It could refine a saint alive. It was a powerful saint artifact. 800 miles of mountains and rivers surrounded Lin Xian, completely sealing him off. As for the others, they quickly attacked. Peerless mystical skills accompanied by the laws quickly descended. Some people also took out saint artifacts and swept through the area. In an instant, the space where Lin Xian was completely submerged. At this moment, more people rushed over from afar. The Golden Rock came, the Fire Phoenix came, and the Peacock Powerhouse also came. When they saw Lin Xian being surrounded, they immediately sneered. Then, they sped up. Damn it, these people are all here. What should we do? Quick, let's join forces to kill Lin Wuti first. The attacks didn't weaken. Instead, they became stronger. Lin Xian roared. He directly exploded the void and channeled the energy into the dark void. At the same time, his eyes were filled with monstrous killing intent. Do you want to die? I'll fulfill your wish. These people were not as strong as him in a one-on-one fight, but together, they formed a terrifying force. The previous attack had also injured him. He was really angry. He took out the great spear of destruction and erupted with an aura that could destroy everything. The entire void was completely exploded, and a few saint artifacts were completely sent flying. Those mystical skills were also torn apart. Blue Sea Tide. There was a green light in Lin Xian's eyes. It was emitted and swept in all directions. In an instant, the surrounding saints all hugged their heads and screamed. Retreat quickly. He knew eye techniques. The soul attack was really too strong. Some people frantically retreated. Lin Xian, on the other hand, used the Heaven Chi mystic skill and stared at the person in the darkness. Do you think I can't find where you are? With one attack, it was earth-shattering. It directly blasted that person out of the void. It pierced through his heart. Then, it blew his body up. That person screamed. Damn it! A small purple flag fell from his body. This small purple flag was a saint artifact. He originally thought that with it, he could hide in the void and no one would discover him. He didn't expect that the other party would discover him in an instant. Chapter 39-22. He was no match for Lin Xian at all, so he rode the purple flag and quickly escaped. Boom! The man fled very quickly. In an instant, he had escaped into the distance. He heaved a sigh of relief. Great! He had finally escaped. However, in the next moment, an earth-shattering energy directly blew him up. This attack was too powerful. Even his soul couldn't escape. The purple flag tore through the void and escaped by itself. Was he dead? The surrounding people were shocked. Was it Lin Wuti who did it? Lin Xian was also taken aback. He wasn't the one who did it. He looked into the distance. It turned out that there was an earth-shattering battle in front of him. A peacock man with 5-colored light was fighting with the Golden Rock. That was a terrifying attack just now. It was the explosion of energy when the two of them fought. It directly enveloped the escaping saint. That was why he killed the other party. The others also frantically retreated. It was too terrifying. Now, it was not a matter of snatching more treasures, but whether they could survive in the battle of these experts. Look, what did that man from the peacock race catch? Some people screamed. It turned out that the two of them had already fought deep into the battle and grabbed a treasure from the Yin Yang Qi. It was a blood-red battle robe that emitted a terrifying aura. At a glance, one could tell that it was a peerless treasure. Some people were terrified. Could it be made from the skin of a saint? And it wasn't just one saint, but a bunch of saints. These people's scalps went numb. If they wore the battle robe, their defense would definitely increase by several times. No wonder the peacock man attacked. No wonder the Golden Rock was jealous. Hurry, hurry, go inside. There might be other treasures in the Yin Yang Qi. The surrounding people went crazy and quickly rushed in. Lin Xian's figure flashed as he dashed over. He didn't attack the battle robe. He didn't need it. He believed that as long as his divine body evolved again, it could overcome all defenses. What he was looking for was the purest yin-yang qi. It was something that could allow him to form tai chi. There weren't many people in front of him, but each of them was abnormally powerful. They worked together to tear open the void and rushed in. Get lost. Someone roared angrily and struck out with lightning. On the other side, ghostly energy filled the air. There were also blade lights and sword shadows that filled the sky. The void in front of him exploded. What kind of pill was that? Heavens, could it be the yin-yang pill? Someone screamed. They discovered that there were a few pills floating in the void palace in front of them. They were black and white and looked extremely mysterious. This was a pill formed from the condensation of the yin and yang of heaven and earth. It definitely contains supreme power. Hurry up and snatch it. The eyes of the experts from the holy city had turned red. In an instant, the mystique nomological laws in their hands became even more mysterious. It looked like they were going to go all out. Scram. Do you think you can take the yin and yang pill with just you? A cold laugh sounded out. Then, a big hand slapped down. It was a huge hand that was glowing with multicolored light. There were feathers on it, and it was extremely terrifying. In an instant, several experts were sent flying. Their bodies were all shattered. Damn it! Who is it? Who would dare to attack them at this time? These people looked over angrily. In the next moment, they saw an old man walking in the air. The aura on his body was surging. An expert from the peacock race. Some people's scalps went numb. The other party's multicolored divine light was too terrifying. They could not resist it at all. Of course, there were also people who sneered. So what if it was the peacock race? They could not retreat here even if it was the heavenly king. A person shrouded in black fog rushed over. The aura emitted from his body was extremely terrifying. It was him. He had fought with Lin Wudi before. Although he lost, he was able to leave calmly. Someone screamed. The old man from the peacock race also snorted coldly. If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. He used the peacock mystique and rushed forward. The black figure sneered. Many cold nomological laws rushed out like chains. The two collided, and a terrifying force swept in all directions. Those yin and yang pills were enveloped by yin and yang qi. They floated in the air and were not affected. However, the surrounding sages were sent flying by this force. Some of them even had half of their bodies turned into blood mist. Damn it, get lost. Humph. Don't think about taking it all for yourself. The two people in front of them were really angry. However, at this moment, a golden light slashed down from the sky. Yin and yang pills? That's mine. I'll kill whoever dares to touch it. What followed was an extremely berserk voice. The surrounding people went crazy. Who was that? He was too strong. He slashed at the two powerhouses with a saber. It was Jinpeng. He was here. Someone screamed. The old man from the peacock race and the black figure felt their scalps go numb. This saber light gave them a fatal sense of danger. The two of them did not fight anymore. Instead, they retreated frantically. Boom! The saber slashed down, and the sky collapsed. No one could stop it. In the next moment, a figure emitting a monstrous light walked out. It was Jinpeng. He looked disdainfully at the surroundings like a god fiend. Get lost, or you'll die without a burial place. Damn it, he was too arrogant. Why? This was not the territory of the demon city. Some people were not convinced. They were no match for him one-on-one, but they could take him down together. If you don't want to leave, then die. The saber in Jinpeng's hand bloomed with incomparable light. The terrifying saber light swept across the surroundings. All sorts of miserable shrieks instantly rang out, rising and falling one after another. No one was a match for him. Even a fifth celestial layer expert would be split in half by his blade. No one could block that attack. Even the old man from the peacock race felt his hair stand on end. He regretted it madly. The black figure from the depths of the heart of destiny also had a cold expression as he hid in the void. Ha ha ha, a bunch of trash. How dare they have designs on the treasure? Jinpeng laughed loudly when he saw the people around him being beaten up miserably. Who would dare to take what he had set his eyes on? He strode forward in large strides. At the same time, he stretched out his golden claws and grabbed at the yin and yang pills in front of him. Oh no, he's going to snatch it away. Damn it, that's a creation of heaven and earth. I might be able to condense the laws of yin and yang after eating it. Those people were extremely jealous. However, the saber strike just now had traumatized them too much. They did not dare to go forward now. They were not in a hurry. Such a treasure must have a powerful defensive formation. He could not have broken it so quickly. Some people still had hope in their hearts. However, they soon fell into despair because the yin and yang aura did not obstruct it too much. It only floated in the air, allowing the golden claws to envelop the yin and yang pills. What? There's no formation. Damn it. Are we really going to be taken by Jin Peng? The surrounding people were in despair. The old man from the peacock race also screamed, "Grandpa, where are you?" Chapter 39:23. The Golden Rock was overjoyed. Originally, he thought that he would have to use some means to get it. But now, it seemed like it was as easy as blowing off dust. Great. He was overjoyed. He got it. He might be able to break through to the minor saint realm. At that time, his strength would undergo earth-shattering changes. He would even have a chance to enter the pilgrim list. Buzz. However, at the last moment, a golden crow flew out and blocked his sharp claws. Damn it! How dare you stop me? The Golden Rock was furious. The surrounding people also screamed in horror. Could it be an expert of the Golden Crow clan? Perhaps only the Golden Crow clan dared to fight against the Golden Rock. The Golden Rock was also angry. Was there anyone left in the Golden Crow clan? Wasn't the Golden Crow prince killed by someone? Who was it? How dare they be arrogant in front of him? He turned his head, his eyes like a sharp golden blade, cutting through the void. He was stunned. The surrounding people were also stunned, because they found that it wasn't an expert of the Golden Crow clan, but a person who looked like a sun war god. Lin Wudi. They screamed. Damn it, this kid's divine ability was very strange. He could evolve a lot of things. This Golden Crow was evolved by him. Lin Wudi and the Golden Rock were fighting again. Were they going to continue the previous battle? If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. The Golden Rock was completely furious. He attacked aggressively. The golden long blade, the terrifying golden rock feather, and the terrifying defense erupted together. The entire space was completely charged by the violent force. Lin Xian was even stronger. After he arrived, he stared at the yin and yang pill, his eyes bursting with a piercing cold light. This pill was extremely beneficial for him to condense Tai Chi. He would never miss it. So, he didn't say anything. He also attacked aggressively. The Great Sun Sword and the Death Demonic Blade were displayed by him, sweeping in all directions. This place was completely destroyed. Those who were watching the battle were also sent flying. Some were directly killed. Run quickly. These two top experts were fighting. If they were too close, they would definitely die. So, these people all evacuated in an instant. What yin and yang pill? Saving one's life was the most important. In the air, a black figure was also sent flying while vomiting blood. His face was filled with dissatisfaction. He originally wanted to hide in the dark and wait for an opportunity, but now he couldn't. Every space in front of him was filled with destructive power. He couldn't stay any longer. The old man from the peacock race wanted to hold on for a while longer, but he soon spat out blood. Half of his body had been shattered. He was so scared that he screamed and retreated. He had to hurry and find his grandfather. Otherwise, the treasure would really be taken away by these two people. Brat, you've completely angered me. The Golden Rock's bloodline power was fully unleashed. Rock's fury. He spread his wings, and those feathers turned into countless wild blades, rushing over like a flood. Do you think I'm scared of you? Lin Xian wielded the Law of the Sun and used stellar transposition to form a golden vortex that sucked in the terrifying saber light. They were all shrouded in golden light. Then, they pushed back. The two forces exploded again. The violent aura caused Lin Xian and the Golden Rock to continuously retreat. At this moment, a snow-white little monkey was rushing through the turbulence. He came near the yin-yang pill, and then the small bowl on his head directly covered the yin-yang pill. Yeah, I got it. Little White cheered with the small bowl on its head. Damn it, damn monkey, go die for me. The Golden Rock was completely furious. What was going on? They couldn't withstand this place, but someone could stay. And it was a monkey. And he even stole his yin-yang pill. Leave the pill for me, he roared crazily, and the long saber in his hand turned into a dragon that rushed out. Little White made a funny face and jumped into the void, disappearing without a trace. In the next moment, he returned to Lin Xian's side. He didn't know if it was delicious. Little White sat on Lin Xian's shoulder and began to think about the yin-yang pill. Lin Xian hurriedly said, "Little ancestor, leave the thing to me. I'll find you some supreme-grade spirit fruits." "No, I want to drink monkey wine," Little White negotiated. Lin Xian smiled bitterly. Okay, okay. I'll give you whatever you want. Deal." Little White narrowed her eyes, then took the yin-yang pill and entered the black earth. Great, Lin Xian smiled. This thing would be a step further for him to condense the true Taiji diagram. The Golden Rock opposite him was completely mad. Damn it, it's this damn brat again. He wanted to kill him previously, and now he even stole his fortune. How could he tolerate it? Kill. With a roar, laws appeared. Heaven and earth trembled as if the entire world was about to shatter. Run. Everyone frantically fled the area. They knew that the Golden Rock had completely gone crazy. "Do you think I'm afraid of you?" Lin Xian roared, and a dragon's roar came from his body. The great sun sword in his hand shot out streaks of golden dragon sword chi. The power of the sword chi also increased exponentially. The two of them fought in an earth-shattering manner. The Golden Rock was so angry that he vomited blood. Damn it, he still couldn't do anything to the other party. In the distance, an even more terrifying aura filled the air. There were also screams. The Golden Rock knew that other places also had rare treasures. "Brat, just you wait. I'll snatch the yin-yang pill one day. Your life is also mine." After saying that, he slashed out again, then turned and left. If they continued fighting, he wouldn't be able to kill him. The other party might even die together in the end. This wasn't what he wanted. He'd better seize the other fortunes first. When his cultivation increased again, he'd kill the other party as easily as flipping his hand. Lin Xian didn't attack anymore. He snorted coldly and also rushed in another direction. The aura in front was even more terrifying. Moreover, there were ghostly wails and howls. There were even fifth heaven sages who ran out with their souls. His body was completely shattered. What's going on? What happened? The surrounding people were terrified. That was a late-stage fifth heaven expert. He could definitely defeat everyone with his strength, but at this moment, he was in such a sorry state. The person who escaped had a face full of terror. Dead. They were all dead. In an instant, 5 late-stage fifth heavenly layer cultivators had died inside. It's too scary. I don't want to go in there again for the rest of my life. He trembled in fear and quickly fled the area. What? Did all late-stage fifth heaven experts die in there? What is that place? It's too scary. I'm afraid no one can go in there. They knew that there might be an earth-shattering summon inside, but they couldn't go in. There was nothing they could do. Humph, the fortune is mine. At this moment, a figure descended. His body was blooming with 5-colored light. It was the expert from the peacock race. Everyone was shocked. This person was very strong. However, some people shook their heads. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't go in unless a real minor saint came. These people shook their heads and sighed. Chapter 39:24. However, the man from the peacock race had an extremely arrogant expression. He was wearing a battle robe, and a terrifying aura was trembling. Endless laws flew forward rapidly. The space in front of him was torn apart. What? This battle robe was actually obtained by him? The surrounding people were all stupefied. The battle robe was made of at least 10 saint skins. It was extremely powerful and had unparalleled defense. With it, it could block all attacks. It seemed that he really had a chance to enter. These people's eyes were red. The peacock man rushed in with the super strong battle robe. Not long after, another person rushed in. This person had a burly voice and a surging aura. There was a bead above his head. That bead was as big as a millstone and emitted a terrifying aura. It even transformed into an illusion of a golden lion that enveloped him. He also rushed in forcefully. Heavens, who was that person? He should be from the golden lion race. Was that a sacred artifact on his head? These people were terrified. No, it was an inner core. However, it was probably an inner core left behind by a great ancient demon after its death. Its power was not inferior to a top sacred artifact. The aura in front was even more terrifying. Could it be that the two of them had a huge battle inside? The people outside watched from afar. It was very likely, but they did not know who won and who lost. Both of them were extremely strong, and the trump cards in their hands were even more terrifying. They were probably evenly matched. Not long after, there was a sudden rumble in front of them as if the sky and earth were collapsing. Two figures rushed out. Their faces were covered in dirt and injuries. Damn it! The man from the peacock race roared as he tore through the void and left. The surrounding people were all stunned. What happened? Could it be that neither of them obtained the treasure? Moreover, it seemed that both of them were injured. Heavens, they were wearing super battle armor and had a terrifying inner core. Even that couldn't block it? The golden lion glanced at the people in the distance, shook his head, and said, "Don't go. There's no treasure inside." It was a corpse, a rotten corpse with a terrifying aura of death. Damn it, who said that there was a treasure here? At the end of his words, the golden lion roared. After the two of them went in, they almost died inside. If it weren't for the terrifying trump cards in their hands, they probably wouldn't have been able to come out. When the others heard this, their scalps went numb. A corpse? They didn't know whose body it was. But thinking about it, he definitely couldn't afford to provoke them anymore. Let's go quickly. They all fled from this place and went to other places. The mysteries of the 8 trigrams were as if there were 8 worlds within it. Therefore, they quickly traveled through space. In another space, the surrounding people were crazily attacking. They discovered that there were yin and yang energies in this space. They actually condensed into an ancient building. It was extremely mysterious. Everyone was moved and charged in. They discovered that there were actually traces of people living inside. To be able to leave behind a relic here, one had to be an incredible saint. Everything they used contained the great Tao of heaven and earth. Hurry up and snatch it. If you can obtain it and wear it for a long period of time, you will definitely be able to increase your comprehension of loss. These people were all crazy. They quickly attacked and snatched. Tables, chairs, teacups, and bowls were all snatched away. There were even people who fought until rivers of blood flowed for a table. Lin Xian had also arrived. He directly entered the 3rd level. It was the uppermost level. He found that it was a bedroom. The pillow was not bad. Lin Xian reached out a hand to grab it, but at this moment, there was a delicate shout and she put down the treasure. Immediately after, endless fiery red sword light rushed over and turned into a monstrous sea of fire, blocking Lin Xian's palm. Who was it? Lin Xian was surprised. There was still someone who could block his attack. He turned his head to look. He saw a beautiful woman. She rushed over with a murderous aura. "Are you Lin Wudi? Get lost. I won't kill you." This woman was incomparably cold, as if she could kill the other party as soon as she attacked. "It's you." Lin Xian was also surprised. The other party should be the Fire Phoenix of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion. That mirror is not bad. Take it. It might be useful to you. This pillow is mine. The pillow also carried a powerful yin and yang aura. He didn't know what treasure it was carved from, but thinking about it, if he could cultivate in his sleep in the future, how wonderful would that be? Therefore, Lin Xian was confident that he would succeed. "Everything here is mine, including this pillow," the Fire Phoenix said coldly. Lin Xian sneered when he heard that. What a big appetite. Aren't you afraid that you'll be stuffed to death? He was so angry that he laughed. Previously, he thought that the Golden Rock was arrogant enough, but he didn't expect the Fire Phoenix to be even more arrogant. Did she really think that this was her territory? Lin Xian didn't care at all. Instead, he reached out to grab the yin-yang pillow. In an instant, he held it in his hand. "How dare you?" The Fire Phoenix was furious. How dare he disobey her orders? He deserved to die. She slashed out with her sword. The terrifying sword light circled in the sky and turned into a flaming phoenix that rushed over. From the looks of it, he wanted to kill Lin Xian completely. Get lost. Lin Xian countered with a palm strike. It slapped on the biting cold sword light, causing heaven and earth to tremble. The entire yin-yang ancient building shook violently. The sword chi didn't break. Instead, it was sent flying, but the light on it dimmed a lot. Lin Xian retracted his palm in surprise. What a biting cold attack. It seemed that the other party had comprehended the sword law in addition to the law of fire. The sword was originally meant for attacking. The law of sword was even more fierce. Everyone in the 10,000 Swords Pavilion was a terrifying sword saint, and their power far exceeded that of their peers. Now it seemed that it was true. It's useless. You're no match for me at all. My cultivation is stronger than yours. And now, I can fight above my level. What do you have to fight me? The Fire Phoenix walked over domineeringly. The flaming sword light on her body jumped. Sword Saint? Lin Xian put away the yin-yang pillow completely, turned around, and revealed a smile. Very well, then let's compete in sword skills. He was also a swordsman. Although he didn't condense the law of sword, Lin Xian's sword skills weren't weak at all. Other laws were enough to make up for it. Coupled with the great dragon sword soul, his attack power was even stronger than the law of sword. You want to compete in sword skills with me? The Fire Phoenix's eyes were filled with disdain. If the other party used the law of death or the violent law of the sun, the other party could fight with her. But in terms of sword skills, the other party was probably 108,000 meters away from her. Lin Wudi, you're too arrogant. Do you really think you're omnipotent? In terms of sword skills, I'll give you a handicap of one hand. Lin Xian also laughed. It's been a long time since someone dared to challenge me in sword skills. You want to challenge me? Well, if I use a special ability outside of sword skills later, then it's my loss. Lin Xian pulled out the unparalleled sword, and a terrifying sword intent emerged from his body. Chapter 39:25. The Fire Phoenix's eyes were filled with disdain. She didn't say anything else. She estimated that she could kill the other party in 3 moves. The flaming sword slashed out and slashed downwards. Sword chi crisscrossed the sky. That power was really too strong. It surpassed all the previous supernatural powers. Lin Xian laughed and slashed out with the unparalleled sword. The long sword drew an arc in the air. The terrifying sword light brought with it a vibrating power. It directly entangled the other party's flaming sword light. Then, the two collided, as if the sky was falling and the earth was splitting. How could it be? His sword technique. The Fire Phoenix was surprised. Although it was just a simple exchange, she could clearly feel the exquisiteness of the other party's sword technique. Although the other party didn't have the sword law, other laws combined with the sword chi still displayed unparalleled power. Humph. Her face was completely gloomy. No wonder the other party dared to compete with her in sword technique. It seemed that he was also an expert in the sword Dao. However, no one could compare to the 10,000 Swords Pavilion in sword technique. Next, the Fire Phoenix displayed a set of sky-burning sword technique. The terrifying flames and sword chi seemed to be able to burn for 9 days. This sword technique was known for its violent and fierce nature. Above Lin Xian's sword chi, the sun law revolved around it. It was incomparable and swept across the area. It was as if one sun after another exploded in the air. The other party was fierce, but he was even more violent than the other party. He could destroy everything. The battle between the two was earth-shattering. The Fire Phoenix discovered that her sky-burning sword technique was suppressed. How was this possible? She really couldn't believe it. As a sword saint, it was necessary to have the sword law. If they couldn't condense the sword law, then they wouldn't have the face to be called a sword saint. Once they condensed it, their attack power would reach a terrifying level. It was far beyond the same level. Therefore, under normal circumstances, no one dared to contend with a sword saint of the same level. And now, her cultivation was higher than the other party by a large realm. Logically speaking, If she wanted to kill such a person, she could probably kill him with a single sword chi. But now, her peerless sword technique was actually suppressed by the other party. Then, how strong was the other party's attack power? However, what shocked her even more was that the other party didn't have the sword law at all. This made her unable to understand it all. Without the sword law, he could still display such a powerful sword technique. What kind of trump card did the other party have? Lin Xian was also surprised. Although he did not have the sword laws, he had the great dragon sword soul. His attack power was extremely strong. The fact that his opponent was able to fight him to this extent showed that he was indeed an expert in the way of the sword. It looked like Xiao Qian had to think of a way to comprehend the laws of the sword after he condensed the taiji. As a swordsman, it was impossible without the law of sword. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light as he thought about his future path. The Golden Palace was extremely mysterious. Other than the Yin Yang Palace, there were other palaces. He remembered that the Hall of All Life should be able to help him condense the law of sword. Thinking of this, Lin Xian coldly shouted. He wanted to end this battle quickly. 9 suns opened the sky. With a roar, the flames on the unparalleled sword burned fiercely, turning into a huge sword that reached the heavens, illuminating the entire sky. As of this moment, the people off in the distance, as well as on the first and second floors, could sense what was happening. Heavens, who are these people fighting? What a terrifying sword intent. Humph, are we going to have a big showdown? Do you think I'm afraid of you? The fire phoenix also roared. 9 days of phoenix dance. There were a few phantoms of phoenixes circling around her long sword. They were equally powerful. Boom. 2 peerless attacks landed, clashing in midair and exploding violently. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The light and sword chi enveloped everything. The Yin Yang Tower was completely overturned. The experts in the tower who were fighting for the treasures spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Their faces were filled with fear and despair. Outside, those who wanted to rush to the Yin Yang Tower were swept away by a peerless sword chi. Some of their bodies were shattered, and they spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Damn it, it was too scary. There were peerless sword saints fighting inside. The commotion here alarmed everyone. They all looked towards the 3rd floor. They wondered who was so terrifying. The aura on the 3rd floor was so strong that it seemed like it could destroy the world. Gradually, the 2 figures separated from each other. Lin Xian had a sword wound on his body. His body was covered in golden blood. However, at this moment, the sword wound was rapidly healing. On the other side, the fire phoenix covered her body. Her body was trembling slightly. There was also a sword wound on her body. Furthermore, this sword strike was even deeper. It had nearly split her entire body in half. Even her internal organs were severely injured. What was even more terrifying was that she couldn't erase the sword chi on it. As a result, her injuries were getting worse and worse. Damn it, what kind of law was this? She was too shocked. She didn't expect to lose to the other party in swordsmanship. Kid, just you wait. This isn't over. The fire phoenix turned around and flew down. She didn't dare to stay here any longer. Lin Xian snorted coldly. I'm looking forward to it. I hope that the experts of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion will come again. To be honest, he was really surprised that the fire phoenix was able to injure him. One had to know that the golden rock couldn't injure him previously, but the fire phoenix injured his body. The 10,000 Swords Pavilion. Huh? Lin Xian's eyes shone with a piercing cold light. As a swordsman, the other party's swordsmanship had aroused his fighting spirit. His body was filled with laws. He activated his divine body and began to repair the sword wound. Although he was injured, he didn't care. The other party's injuries were more serious than his. If they really fought, he was confident that he could kill the other party. Look, someone is coming down. Inside the Yin Yang restaurant, the people below were terrified. In the next moment, they saw a beautiful person floating in the air. It was the fire phoenix. She was injured. Who injured her? These people were terrified. After the fire phoenix arrived, she snorted coldly. Lin Wudi was despicable and shameless. He injured me when I was snatching the treasure. I think he should have gotten the treasure. What? Lin Wuti injured her? Lin Wuti must have plotted against her. The fairy said that it was a ploy. These people were shocked. Some gritted their teeth, and some had fiery eyes. What treasure was it? The fire phoenix's eyes flashed. She sneered. Listen carefully. That is the yin-yang inheritance. If you cultivate it, you can directly obtain the yin-yang power. After saying that, she tore through the void and left. The surrounding people were really crazy. It was actually such a peerless inheritance. Damn it, they definitely couldn't let Lin Wuti get it. Everyone, let's work together to kill this despicable person. These people quickly rushed over. On the third floor, when Lin Xian was recovering from his injuries, he heard these words. Suddenly, a fierce look appeared in his eyes. A woman's heart was really the most vicious. He attacked the other party? He obtained the yin-yang inheritance? The other party was talking nonsense. Chapter 39:26. But now, no matter what he said, these envious people probably wouldn't believe him. So he didn't say anything. When those people came to the third floor, Lin Xian directly used 9 suns open the sky. The berserk sword Qi sent all of those people flying. A few of them were directly destroyed in body and soul. Even their souls didn't have time to escape. The others were also seriously injured. Their eyes were filled with fear. Damn it, we've been deceived. That fire phoenix woman is detestable. They now understood that Lin Wuti had ambushed them. What a joke. With such strength, was there a need for a sneak attack? It was obvious that Fire Phoenix had been injured in a head-on battle. As for Fire Phoenix's other words, the yin-yang inheritance, they also felt that it was very suspicious. Forget it, there might not be an inheritance. This woman probably wanted to kill them with a borrowed knife. These sages had lived until now. Which one of them wasn't a shrewd person? They instantly understood. Therefore, they didn't find trouble with Lin Xian anymore. Instead, they began to look for other opportunities. Lin Xian left the yin-yang ancient building and flew into the distance. The people around him were still fighting and snatching treasures. In the distance, there was an even more monstrous light flickering. However, Lin Xian didn't make any more moves. He had already snatched several treasures. He felt that it was about time to start breaking through. Now that he had the 2 laws and the yin and yang pills, as well as this yin and yang energy, he felt that he could start cultivating Tai Chi and let it truly appear in the world. He rushed towards a place with fewer people, but he didn't leave the yin-yang area. Fortunately, the space here was vast. Lin Xian finally found a secluded and quiet place. There was nothing here. Only the aura of yin and yang filled the air. He set up more than 10 defensive array formations. After all, he didn't know how long it would take for him to break through. It would be troublesome if he was ambushed. Sitting down cross-legged and feeling the yin and yang aura around him, Lin Xian formed a seal with his palms and began to circulate. The Tai Chi art was in his body. The sun and death laws constantly circulated and intertwined, causing half of Lin Xian's body to be pitch black like a demon. The other half was golden like a god. These 2 powers could coexist in his body now, but they couldn't truly intertwine. Tai Chi, on the other hand, allowed these 2 powers to fuse together perfectly. Just like that, Lin Xian sank into cultivation. A month later, Lin Xian opened his eyes. There were indeed changes. At this moment, he had 3 heavenly Tao golden lotuses, the yin-yang space, and the 8 trigrams revolving around him. It could be said that the timing was right. Lin Xian's cultivation speed had advanced by leaps and bounds. It could be said that he had traveled 1,000 miles in a day. In the end, he took out the yin-yang pill. Sensing the mysterious aura it contained, Lin Xian excitedly swallowed it. As the yin and yang pill entered his body, the yin and yang energy quickly spread throughout his body, rushing into every part of his meridians and blood. Then, Lin Xian took out the yin-yang pillow and lay down on it. Then, he began to practice Tai Chi from afar. It looked as if Lin Xian was sleeping. However, he was not sleeping. He was cultivating. On Lin Xian's body, the yin and yang energies were constantly circulating, sometimes terrifying, sometimes bright. Just like that, time slowly passed. In the 3rd month, The golden rock killed in all directions and finally obtained a yin-yang treasure bottle. This made him ecstatic. In the 5th month, the fire phoenix also killed in all directions and obtained a treasure. It was a mirror, with yin on one side and yang on the other. It contained two completely opposite powers of the laws. Once the yin-yang mirror appeared, it swept through all directions. These people's strength increased greatly, and they were full of confidence. Then, they searched even more crazily. Apart from the yin-yang hall, there were also all kinds of battles and killings in the other halls. In the endless sea of lightning, Lei Jun bathed in it. He was like a god that had been reborn. Ever since the heavenly hall opened, he had entered and never left. No one knew what he had obtained in there, but the occasional lightning aura that came out of it made some of the older generation experts shudder in fear. They knew that Lei Jun must have obtained an incredible opportunity. When he came out, he would definitely shock the world. In the Earth Hall, in a mysterious place, there was a pool of blood. Fresh blood was boiling in it, and there was a terrifying aura of blood. And in this pool of blood, there was a person sitting cross-legged. It was a handsome young man. He was the 9-headed unicorn. At this moment, the illusory figures of the unicorn and the 9-headed sky snake appeared behind him. It kept roaring, and it became more and more condensed. It was as if it was really going to cross time and space to be resurrected. The bloodline power of the 9-headed unicorn was growing stronger every day. By the time he made his move again, his strength would have undergone an earth-shattering change. In another place in the Earth Hall, a great battle was breaking out. A slender man was fighting with the saints around him. His body was covered in blood, and he was severely injured. However, his eyes became brighter. Behind him, there was a divine tree that reached the sky, releasing a terrifying aura. It gave the man an extremely strong vitality and recovery ability. In the end, he killed all the strong enemies and laughed proudly. He was the North Beast. At this moment, the North Demon's aura had undergone a tremendous change. It seemed that his bloodline was awakening further. After all, the myriad beast body was very strong. If he hadn't been captured by the people of the Fiend Planet and suffered for those years, his strength would have shocked the world. Although he was delayed for a period of time, with this special Golden Palace and Black Mountain's guidance, more importantly, his bloodline talent. At this moment, the North Beast's cultivation and strength had increased by leaps and bounds. When he appeared again, he wouldn't be weaker than those top geniuses. In the human hall, the Crimson Dragon rushed out with a dirty face. Behind him, an ancient ruin was destroyed. That terrifying aura made all the strong cultivators tremble in fear. The Crimson Dragon was also injured. However, he was like an old monster, laughing loudly. Ha ha ha. It seemed that he had obtained a shocking treasure. Beside him, a black figure rushed out and asked, "Brother, how did it go? Did you get it?" This figure was actually the Toad. Who would have thought that these two fellows would come together? Who knew how many people they would harm? At this moment, the aura of the Toad was even more obvious. On its back, there were countless strange runes. With a single look, one could tell that it was extraordinary. He got it. The Crimson Dragon nodded. The Toad grinned. "How is it? I was right, wasn't I? There's an ancient ruin in the north. Let's go together." "What are we waiting for? Let's go." The Crimson Dragon's eyes were red. The two of them turned into streaks of light and rushed into the distance. In another space within the human palace, there were countless gigantic stone steels, all of which contained a mysterious power. There were many strong cultivators around them, tempering their bodies and evolving their bloodlines. At the front of the stone tablet stood a figure. It was a beautiful figure, like a holy maiden. Countless people looked up at her with envy. Chapter 39:27. This person was Morong Qingqing. The 7-colored light on Morong Qingqing's body was even more mysterious. She was trying her best to comprehend the laws on the mysterious stone tablet. The fact that the laws could purify one's bloodline made Morong Qingqing very happy. Although she wasn't a member of the Phoenix clan, she had the 7-colored Phoenix bloodline, which was extremely precious. However, the more precious a bloodline was, the harder it was to awaken it. She didn't have the Phoenix clan's inheritance, so she could only rely on herself. Everyone was cultivating. The 5 halls of Roland's Golden Palace were like heavenly paradises. It all depended on whether one had the strength and qualifications to obtain them. At the same time, outside of Roland's Golden Palace, in a mysterious place on planet Tianming, no one could come here, and no one could find it. The spirit veins here were extremely terrifying, even more so than anyone had ever seen before. The spirit veins converged to form a spirit spring, which jingled and emitted the aura of the great Tao. Any saint would be envious if they saw it. And within this spirit spring, there was a person floating. It was a beautiful woman. Her eyes were tightly shut, as if she was sleeping. However, her body was emitting a resplendent light. The spirit spring was constantly flowing into her body, then out again. If Lin Xian were here, he would definitely recognize her. This sleeping woman was Shen Jingqiu. Although Shen Jingqiu hadn't entered Roland's Golden Palace, she definitely had a great fortune. Everyone was fighting for their own fortune. Some people's eyes were red, as if they had gone crazy. Just like that, a year passed. Over the past year, everyone's strength had undergone earth-shattering changes. They were much stronger than before. This made everyone happy. This was only Roland's Golden Palace. Who knew if there were other treasuries on planet Tianming? In this year, they felt that their strength had increased as much as it had in a few hundred years outside. Moreover, their strength was still increasing. In a secluded and cold place, yin and yang energies revolved around a figure lying there, seemingly in a deep sleep. However, the aura on his body was extremely strange and terrifying. Half of his body was glowing with a holy light, while the other half was pitch black like hell. However, these two opposing forces were actually intertwining with each other. It seemed like they wanted to fuse together. Furthermore, he had already fused most of it and would succeed very soon. Sure enough, after a few days, the two fused together perfectly, forming a pattern of the yin-yang fish. At this moment, the figure lying on the ground suddenly opened his eyes. One of his eyes was as black as a millstone, while the other was as golden as the sun. With a loud roar, the yin and yang energies in his body began to circulate rapidly. The terrifying aura that he exuded shattered the world around him. Did he succeed? The figure roared at the sky. He was too excited. This person was none other than Lin Xian. After a year of hard work and the various fortunate encounters he had, he finally managed to merge the two forces of yin and yang together. The death law and the sun law intertwined with each other. A Taiji diagram was formed in his hand. The power of the Taiji diagram was many times stronger than when the two were used separately. Great! Lin Xian's eyes were filled with boundless excitement. Finally, he succeeded in forming Taiji. His current strength had undergone an earth-shaking change. If he had encountered the Fire Phoenix or the Golden Rock from before, he was confident that he could easily defeat them. Of course, he also knew that the other people in this place would also obtain fortuitous encounters. Perhaps their strength would also undergo an earth-shaking change. But so what? He had boundless confidence in himself. No matter how powerful the things they obtained were, they would not be able to compare to his Taiji. Lin Xian sat down cross-legged again. He did not leave. Instead, he took out the primordial blood essences he had obtained. He took out 5 balls of blood essence. 5 fist-sized balls of blood circled around him. Lin Xian used a secret technique to nourish his divine body and rapidly absorb them. As for the other 4, he gave them to the Dragon Sword Soul. The Dragon Sword Soul was nourished by the energy within. The Dragon Sword Soul's absorption speed was extremely fast. The 9 young divine body's absorption speed was not slow either. It was completely absorbed in 2 months. Lin Xian felt that his body had become even stronger. The 5th of the 9 suns on his body had become even more resplendent than before. It seemed that he would be able to successfully condense the 5th sun on planet Tianming. It would allow the 9 young divine body to take another step forward. It was time to make a move. He wondered how those people were doing. Lin Xian thought of the Golden Rock, the Phoenix, and the others. His eyes shone with a piercing cold light. He could not wait to test the power of Taiji. Buzz. He turned into a yin-yang bolt of lightning, tore through the void, and flew into the distance. The blood-colored 8 trigrams had 8 spaces. At this moment, countless people were screaming in one of the spaces. Heavens, look at what that is. They discovered that there were countless black shadows floating in the runes of the 8 trigrams. Is that a weapon? Is that a sacred artifact? The yin and yang energies were tempering the weapon. Heavens, if such a weapon was formed, how terrifying would its power be? These people's eyes turned red. Some people also screamed. No, it's not a complete sacred artifact. Look, it's not completely formed yet. However, it had already taken shape. As long as it was tempered with all its strength, its power would surpass that of an ordinary sacred artifact. That's great. A sacred artifact was infinitely attractive to every saint. How could these saints not be jealous? Hurry up and make a move. These people rushed forward as if they had gone mad. However, this time, a crisis had erupted. These sacred artifacts had been tempered by endless aura and had fallen into a deep sleep. After countless years, they had long gained spirituality. At this moment, when they sensed that someone had attacked, they erupted with an incomparable light. A sword light pierced through the 9 heavens and 10 lands, instantly blasting 3 saints away. On the other side, there were trembling spear lights, pagodas, and large cauldrons floating up and down. Those saints who had attacked all flew back with serious injuries. Damn it, it was too terrifying. These sacred artifacts had already gained spirituality. It would not be easy to subdue them. Quickly spread the news and let our people come. These saints quickly spread the news. They might not be able to get it, but the powerhouses of the holy city would definitely have a way to get it. The news quickly spread. After the powerhouses in the other spaces learned about it, they immediately took action. They had to get their hands on such a treasure. It would be best if they could get all of them. This way, the strength of their holy city would definitely increase by leaps and bounds, and they themselves would be able to obtain many sacred artifacts. Think about it. In a battle, no matter how strong the opponent was, as long as several peerless divine artifacts were used, you would be reduced to ashes. Get out of my way. The peacock race has taken a liking to this place. If you don't want to die, get out of my way. An old man surrounded by 5-colored light stood in front and roared. Chapter 39:28. Damn it, he's too despicable. Does he want to take it all for himself? Many sages were instantly enraged. There were also some who were terrified. They recognized this old man. This old man was very strong. However, there were still people who could fight against him. The terrifying one was his grandfather. That peacock man's strength was terrifying. He was not weaker than Golden Rock and Fire Phoenix. Moreover, he had obtained a sage battle robe previously. Its defense was shockingly strong. Probably not many people could break through his defense. Moreover, it had been more than a year. He must have obtained other opportunities. How strong was such a person? They did not dare to imagine. My grandfather is already on his way. He will be here soon. You'd better leave obediently. Otherwise, when my grandfather arrives, none of you will be able to survive. The old man in front was very arrogant. Some people's scalps went numb as they retreated in fear. However, there were also some experts who thought that he was strong and did not retreat. They all had trump cards and backgrounds. Some even snorted coldly. They wanted to kill this old man first. Someone attacked. A terrifying light flew out. Countless great path laws filled the air. This attack could tear everything apart. A late-stage level 5 expert from Tsangtian had attacked. Everyone screamed in fear. The peacock man sneered. He did not know what was good for him. He took out a blue fan and waved it forward. On the fan, there was an extremely cold aura. Countless ice overflowed and filled the air. In an instant, the other party's great path laws were frozen. Not only that, but the entire space had been completely frozen. The late-stage 5th firmament powerhouse who had attacked had his arm covered in ice. Soon, half of his body was frozen. Moreover, it continued to spread. Damn it, That person was so frightened that he quickly retreated. At the same time, his body shone brightly. Flames burned as he tried to resist. However, he could not resist at all. In the end, he turned into an ice cube and exploded. Only his soul escaped. What? The power was so terrifying. The people around felt their scalps go numb. Some of them who thought that they could fight back now had extremely ugly expressions. In their imagination, this old man was not so terrifying. It's that fan. I remember that this should be a treasure that his grandfather snatched from the hands of many experts. It had an extremely cold aura. When the fan was used, it would freeze the world. He originally thought that it would be in the hands of the peacock man, but he didn't expect it to be given to this old man. Many people were terrified. The old man looked up to the sky and laughed. How is it? Do you know how powerful I am now? Even I couldn't stop him, let alone my grandfather. Hurry up and scram. As he spoke, he struck out a few more times. Instantly, the surrounding ice spread rapidly. When the people in the distance felt this aura, they were so scared that their scalps went numb. They quickly fled. Damn it, this is too despicable. Humph, there's no need to be afraid. He has treasures, but does he think we don't? This year, everyone had their own opportunities, and someone walked out. This person was a demonic beast with flames burning on his body. It was unknown what his true form was. However, his aura was extremely terrifying. He was also at the late stage of the fifth firmament. After the old man finished reading, he sneered. Do you think that just because you cultivate fire, you can be compared to my ice? You are too naive. As he spoke, he waved his fan. Terrifying ice laws rushed out and enveloped the world. The great demon roared angrily as many fire laws appeared on his body to resist. But very soon, he discovered that his flame laws had been sealed in ice. The surrounding people sighed. No, the gap between the two was too big. Everyone thought that this great demon would be frozen and suffer a terrible fate. However, at this moment, the great demon took out a branch. It was a branch that was red like fire. The moment it was taken out, it was as if the sun had risen, and the surrounding ice melted quickly. Then, the two were in a stalemate. It was blocked. Changtian, what did he take out? It was a branch. No one knew what it was left behind. The flame aura on it was too terrifying. It could actually block the ice. No wonder he could stand out. Everyone was discussing. Next, a few people also took out treasures. They were either extremely cold or as bright as the sun. In short, they had an extremely terrifying aura. As long as they waited for their experts to arrive, they would be able to start snatching and killing. The remaining people watched from afar to see if there was a chance to fish in troubled waters. On this day, another figure hurried over at high speed. There was the aura of treasures here. There were so many weapons. What a good place. Someone came. Was it an expert? No idea. It seemed that there was only one person. How dare he be so arrogant? Was he courting death? These people were discussing animatedly. The people in front sneered. At this time, only the few major forces could contend against them. The others were courting death if they came. However, when they saw the person who came, they were stunned. Wasn't that the kid? Linwoody was actually still alive. He hasn't appeared for more than a year. I thought he had fallen. All sorts of voices were heard. Indeed, in the past year, they had seen the figures of many experts. Some of them had even risen quickly. However, they didn't see Lin Xian. They thought that Lin Xian might have explored some terrifying ruins and died inside. They didn't expect him to appear again. It's you. The people in front naturally saw Lin Xian, and their eyes were filled with cold killing intent. In particular, the elder from the peacock race was trembling all over. Kid, you're not dead. That's great. Let me personally send you to hell. He hated the other party too much. Previously, the other party had snatched too many treasures that they had taken a fancy to. Moreover, the other party had defeated him. What was even more infuriating was that the other party had dared to challenge his grandfather. This undoubtedly made him produce a biting cold killing intent. However, previously, he didn't have the strength to fight against the other party. The other party was too strong and could contend against his grandfather. However, it was different now. In the past year, their strength had undergone earth-shattering changes. His grandfather had obtained a lot of good fortune. Even now, he had obtained an ice fan. Its power was terrifying and could freeze a late-stage fifth firmament saint. Kid, get over here and die. Hand over the meridian blood in your body. The elder from the peacock race stood up and shouted coldly. Lin Xian glanced at the other party. So it's you, trash. How dare you shout in front of me? Ask your grandfather to come out. Today, I'll send the two of you to hell together. Damn, kid, do you want to die? The elder from the peacock race was furious. The current me is no longer the strength I was a year ago. Just now, I easily injured a late-stage fifth firmament saint. Do you think you can resist me? Chapter 39:29. Having said that, he waved the treasured fan in his hand forward. A terrifying icy aura spread out and completely froze this part of the world. Oh no, the old man is attacking. Oh no, Lin Wudi is in danger. Yes, no matter how strong he was only at the advanced stage of the fifth heaven. Moreover, he had not appeared for a year. Maybe he was recuperating. At this moment, he was no match for the old man. Sigh, they were all top geniuses, but they were not strong enough here. Everyone shook their heads and sighed. After all, there were earth-shattering changes in the Golden Palace every day. Lin Wudi was strong before, but he might not be able to fight back now. Oh, what a terrifying icy aura. Lin Xian was shocked. No wonder the old man was so arrogant. It turned out that he had obtained a treasure. He could feel the terror of the ice. Indeed, it could freeze an advanced stage of the fifth heaven. But so what? The old man had obtained something, but he did not. What he had obtained was far more than these people. The yin and yang qi on his body shone brightly. Lin Xian walked forward. The ice wanted to freeze him, but when it came into contact with the yin and yang qi, it disappeared. Haha, this kid is dead. The old man from the peacock race sneered, and the others exclaimed. Was Lin Wudi really frozen? Even his soul did not escape. At this moment, they saw a world of ice and snow in front of them. They could not see anyone at all. Humph, this is the consequence of going against the peacock race. The old man snorted. It was too easy for you to die like this. I should have captured your soul and tortured you for a few thousand years so that you could never be reincarnated. The old man's voice was filled with malice. The others felt their scalps tingle. A genius had fallen just like that. What goes around comes around. Lin Wudi had killed the Golden Crow Prince and countless experts, causing the Golden Crow race to be completely annihilated. They did not expect it to be his turn again. Many people sighed. But at this moment, a cold voice came from the ice in front of them. Is that so? Capturing a soul and torturing it for a few thousand years? Very well, I will do that to you later. This voice clearly spread through the crowd. Everyone was stupefied. Damn it! Whose voice was that? Was it Lin Wudi's? What? Is he still alive? Impossible. How could he still be alive? The old man from the peacock race screamed madly. His eyes were wide open as if he had seen a ghost. Humph, it must be a ghost. Do you want to become an evil spirit after you die? It's useless. It's useless against me. Just die. He waved his fan again. The ice in front of them was even more horrifying. It was like a world of ice and snow. The aura it emitted was extremely frightening. Now, even if there were any ghosts, they would have been frozen. However, with a boom, the ice in front of him suddenly cracked open and melted rapidly. A figure walked out. What? Not dead. The peacock race elder's hands trembled. His heart was filled with endless fear. The surrounding people were also stunned. How could Lin Wudi be unharmed? Wasn't this too strange? Had his physique already reached such a terrifying level? Everyone was talking about it. The peacock race elder gritted his teeth. Humph, you just blocked it. I don't believe you can block me a few times. He crazily attacked. The treasured fan in his hand kept waving. The terrifying ice laws rapidly spread out. Everyone knew that an earth-shattering battle was about to erupt. They didn't know which was more terrifying, the divine body or the super-powerful sacred artifact. In the face of such a terrifying attack, Lin Xian's lips curled into a disdainful smile. He stretched out a finger. On his finger, the death and sun laws spread. The two fused together and pointed forward. Tai Chi finger. As he pointed forward, the ice laws in front of him kept shattering. This finger seemed to have become the only thing in the world. Impossible. The peacock race elder screamed and wanted to escape. However, this single finger had caused his body to explode. Boom! Blood mist filled the air as screams continued. The surrounding people were completely stunned. Their minds were blank. What did they see? The terrifying peacock race elder could even freeze a late-stage fifth heaven saint with a raise of his hand. How terrifying was that? Against very few people. However, at this moment, he couldn't even block a finger from Lin Wuti. How terrifying was this Lin Wuti? Damn it, could it be that he wasn't injured this year, but cultivating? Thinking of this possibility, these people felt like they were going crazy. The peacock race elder also screamed crazily. Ah, his soul hugged the ice fan and his body quickly reassembled. However, under the yin and yang energies, it shattered again. The peacock race elder was terrified. He felt like he was going to die. Damn, brat, do you dare to kill me? My grandfather will be here soon. Let me tell you, he has obtained a lot of good fortune this year. You are definitely no match for him. If you dare to kill me, you will end up very miserably. Do you think I'm afraid of you threatening me? I'll wait for your grandfather to come this time, and then send him to hell. But before that, you can go to hell and wait. Lin Xian's large hand slapped out. It was a black and white palm with two completely opposite laws on it. However, it was perfectly combined. With one strike, he grabbed the ice fan and then snatched it away. The peacock race elder's soul screamed in despair and wanted to escape. Lin Xian activated the Tianji God Eye technique and used the locking spring and autumn to pull the other's soul into the illusion world. Didn't the other party say that he would torture his soul for thousands of years? Well, he would fulfill the other party's wish. In his illusion world, he let the other party suffer 3,000 years of torture. Amidst the endless misery and despair, the soul of the peacock race elder dissipated. The others were also terrified, as if they were facing a great enemy. It was too terrifying. The current Lin Wuti was even more terrifying than a year ago. Moreover, he was incomparably mysterious. With a raise of his hand, he easily killed a peacock race elite. Everyone was terrified. There were even some people who frowned. What was that black and white palm? They felt a chill run down their spines. It felt like yin and yang energies. No way. Could it be that this Lin Wuti could directly cultivate the yin and yang laws? It was absolutely impossible. They shook their heads frantically. This kind of origin laws could only be passed down in some ancient planets. There was no way to learn it in other places. After killing the peacock race elder, Lin Xian obtained an ice fan. The ice fan wanted to resist. Lin Xian used the Tianji God Eye and erased the soul on it. However, he found that there were two soul imprints on it. Besides the elders, there was another one that was even stronger. Chapter 39:30. Lin Xian guessed that it should be the man from the peacock tribe. So what? His god's eye shot out a golden blade of light, directly erasing the soul of that person. The soul screamed as it disappeared. Damn it, I don't care who you are. I will definitely tear you into pieces. Then, it turned into green smoke and disappeared. Lin Xian didn't care about such a threat. If the other party dared to come, he would destroy him. That was all. He stared in front of him in surprise. This place was too unusual. It could even temper weapons. There were more than a dozen sacred weapons. Although they hadn't been completely tempered, they had already taken shape. They should be able to take shape after a period of time. Once they were formed, how terrifying would their power be? They were tempered with yin and yang qi. He looked carefully and found that the materials needed to make these sacred weapons were extremely precious. They were all rare metals. Some of them had even gone extinct. He had to search hundreds of worlds to find a little bit of them. Good stuff. It was indeed good stuff. Lin Xian was delighted. This gossip really surprised him. Lin Xian was overjoyed and strode forward. Stop! The people around him shouted coldly. Lin Xian turned his head and asked coldly, "How dare you stop me?" Those people were so scared that they trembled. To be honest, the other party easily killed the Peacock tribe's elite. It made their scalps tingle. However, they couldn't just watch as the other party went to get the treasure now. They said, "Lin Wudi, don't be too arrogant. Our elites will be here soon. Yes, senior sister Hefeng will be here too. You'd better stay there obediently. It's impossible for you to take this place for yourself." Humph. Lin Xian stretched out a large black and white hand and slapped forward. "How dare you?" That person roared and took out a fiery red tree branch to block. But with a bang, he exploded. His body was torn into pieces and his soul fled in panic. The surrounding people were terrified again. One had to know that the fiery red tree branch could block the ice fan. One could imagine that it was also a kind of treasure. But even one of Lin Xian's cards couldn't stop him. Good stuff. Lin Xian sent that expert flying. Seeing the fiery red branch, he snatched it and used his heavenly fate god eye to erase the soul on it. "This thing belongs to me." The soul of that powerful being was so angry that he was about to vomit blood. However, he didn't dare to say anything. He was only heavily injured now. If he dared to make a ruckus, he would probably have his heart and soul destroyed. Damn it. It looks like I can only wait for senior brother Goldenrock to come and avenge him. Who else dares to stop me? Lin Xian didn't step forward. Instead, he looked around. Those people fell silent. They were no match for him at all. Seeing that no one dared to stop him, Lin Xian walked forward. He wanted to go in and collect all of the saint artifacts. However, he had only taken a few steps when the saint artifacts in front of him began to attack. Their terrifying auras made Lin Xian jump in fright. His figure flashed and dodged the attacks. Then, he frowned. They could actually take the initiative to attack. Interesting. He reached out a large black and white palm and sent the attacks flying. However, he found that the saint artifacts could still move. It seemed that they had formed a weapon formation. He couldn't take them down in a short time. Lin Xian frowned. The people around him were also surprised. Soon, those people sneered. Great. It seemed that the treasures weren't so easy to take. So what if Lin Wudi was strong? In the end, he was still stopped by these sacred weapons. Humph! When their experts arrived, it would be his time of death. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He was proficient in formations. After some deduction, he found a way to break it. However, he needed some special methods. He turned his head and stared at the expert from Demon City. "You, come here." That expert's body had been destroyed and had just recovered. When he saw Lin Wudi, his body trembled and he almost knelt on the ground. He braced himself and said, "What do you want? I've thought of a way to break it, but I need people to experiment. Go up and try it." As soon as he said that, the people around him were stunned. The great demon from Demon City was so angry that he vomited blood. "Damn it, do you want me to be your guinea pig?" He was about to faint from anger. "You've gone too far." After Lin Xian heard that, he sneered. "Can I do that? When I first came here, many of you did the same thing. Even my junior brother from Wushuang City was treated the same way. I'm giving you a taste of your own medicine. Can I do that?" Lin Xian's body emitted a terrifying aura. It was incomparably mysterious and made people's hair stand on end. The others were silent. Indeed, they had used this method many times. It was just that Lin Xian was using it now. They felt uncomfortable all over. "Now, I'll give you two choices. Either you do the experiment, or I kill you now. You choose for yourself." The great demon was silent. He really didn't want to make a choice. Both of the results were extremely dangerous. But in the end, he sighed. It was better to listen to Lin Xian. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be able to live. Just as he raised his head, he saw a black and white palm coming over and directly smashing him into a bloody mist. Even his soul couldn't escape. He was dead. Everyone was stunned. What was going on? Why did Lin Wudi suddenly attack? Lin Xian retracted his palm and snorted coldly. "You've had too much time to think. I don't give you that much time. Next, you. Which path do you want to take?" This time, it was a thunder god expert. He was so scared that he wet his pants. Damn, this method is too ruthless. He nodded without saying anything. I'm willing to be the guinea pig. What a joke. If he hesitated for a while, he would probably be smashed into a bloody pulp. Very good. What about you? Lin Xian looked at the other people. Those people's scalps went numb. They nodded one after another. We're willing to try. However, there was an exception, and that was the people from Myriad Sword Pavilion. He said coldly, Kid, do you know who I am? I'm from Myriad Sword Pavilion. If you dare to touch me, try it. This was a young man. He seemed to be a young genius. However, his strength was already very terrifying, although his cultivation was at the middle stage of the fifth heavenly layer. Although he was a fifth heaven expert, coupled with the sword law and countless exquisite sword techniques, his combat strength was probably not weaker than a fifth heaven expert. Even Lin Xian suspected that this was a chief disciple, but soon he denied it. No, a chief disciple should be stronger than this. If it was a year ago, this person's strength would be a chief disciple. But in this year, in this Roland's Golden Palace, there were too many opportunities. The chief disciple had long advanced by leaps and bounds. This person only had the strength of a chief disciple back then. Now, in front of him, he was nothing. Chapter 39-31. Are they from the Myriad Swords Pavilion? They are a group of sword saints. It's too terrifying. I heard that a core disciple of the Myriad Swords Pavilion was training outside, and a top family of a world injured him. As a result, countless sword saints from the Myriad Swords Pavilion arrived. That family and that world were all wiped out. Since then, very few people dared to offend the Myriad Swords Pavilion. Indeed, these sword saints were too powerful. Especially this group of sword saints, they could really wipe out everything. Coupled with the fact that they had wiped out a world, no one dared to provoke the Myriad Swords Pavilion. Only some extremely terrifying existences would dare to do so. Would this Lin Xian dare to do so? The young man from the Myriad Swords Pavilion raised his head with a sneer in his eyes. Would this guy dare to touch him? He was sure that this guy would die miserably. Myriad Swords Pavilion? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Your senior sister Fire Phoenix was defeated by me. How dare you be arrogant in front of me? Impossible. You're talking nonsense. The young man from the Myriad Swords Pavilion roared crazily. He did not believe it at all. How powerful was their senior sister Fire Phoenix? How could she possibly lose to him? The Myriad Swords Pavilion had their own pride, and they would not allow others to humiliate them. His body was emitting a terrifying sword law. I don't care what kind of tricks you used. If you dare to injure my senior sister Fire Phoenix, you're dead meat. Let me tell you, there is an expert from the Myriad Swords Pavilion on the pilgrim list. Do you dare to make a move? As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people sucked in a breath of cold air. That's right, how could they forget about this? The few monsters on the pilgrim list were all here. One of them was indeed from the Myriad Swords Pavilion. He was an existence even more terrifying than the chief disciple. Because he was a minor saint, his strength was extremely strong. Now that he had suppressed his cultivation base, he was still far stronger than ordinary experts. Other than the opponents on the pilgrim list, he could be said to be invincible in the world. Who would dare to provoke such a person? Oh, someone on the pilgrim list? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and did not say a word. Currently, he knew that there were two people on the pilgrim list. One was from the Myriad Swords Pavilion, and the other was from the Great Desolate Mansion. He wondered which holy city the others were from. Hee, kid, are you afraid? The young man from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion raised his chin even higher. What Lin Wudi? What chief disciple? In front of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion, weren't they all trembling? Seeing this scene, the crowd fell silent. After all, the names of the experts on the pilgrim roll were truly terrifying. At this moment, another person stepped forward. Lin Wudi, you were too arrogant. How dare you try to take it all for yourself? Wow, did someone jump out again? The crowd was shocked. Soon after, he exclaimed in surprise. So they were from the Great Desolate Mansion. The great desolate mansion also had a spot on the pilgrim roll. Its deterrence was no weaker than that of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion. Therefore, at this moment, they also jumped out and clamored. Linwoody was finished. Everyone knew that Linwoody was definitely going to retreat this time. The 10,000 Swords Pavilion was already on the verge of collapsing, let alone the Great Desolation Mansion. Not to mention Linwoody, even if Goldenrock and the others came, they would not dare to be presumptuous. Lin Xian glanced at the other party, his eyes flickering, but he did not say a word. In front of him, the person from the Great Desolation Mansion sneered. Linwoody, how dare you be arrogant in front of us? Get lost. Kneel down obediently and hand over your treasures. If you do, I can give you a quick death. Everyone fell silent. There was nothing they could do. After all, the other party had an expert on the pilgrim roll. However, at this moment, everyone was stunned, because they saw Lin Xian make a move. Another large black and white palm stretched out, instantly enveloping the expert from the Great Desolation Mansion. Then, the palm exerted force and killed the person completely. The person's body was shattered. Sacred blood flowed out from the tip of his finger, piercing through the void. He roared crazily. Damn it! How dare you hurt me? Do you want to die? The Great Desolation Mansion has an expert on the pilgrim roll. If he attacks, you will die for sure. Let me go now. However, Lin Xian did not say a word. What answered him was an even more violent attack. The two types of laws formed a taiji diagram and killed the person completely. Lin Xian released his hand. Endless blood splattered and fell into the void, forming a void. Are you threatening me? Humph, go to hell then. Lin Xian's voice was icy cold. Everyone was stunned. Oh heavens! What did Linwoody do? He killed someone from the Great Desolation Mansion. Moreover, he did it after bringing up an expert on the pilgrim roll. Wasn't this a slap to the pilgrim roll's face? How terrifying was the pilgrim roll? The second astral realm was so vast that there were many sacred cities. In each sacred city, there were several generations of disciples competing for a spot on the pilgrim roll. One could imagine how intense the competition was. At this moment, there were only 7 people on the pilgrim roll. What kind of strength did these 7 people represent? Needless to say, they were definitely at the peak of strength. Would it be a good thing to provoke such a person? However, Linwoody had provoked them directly, and he had slapped them in the face. He had killed an expert from the Great Desolation Mansion. Everyone was shocked by this. The young man from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion was also stunned. His eyes were wide open and his back was drenched in cold sweat. How could Linwoody dare to attack him? To be honest, he was stunned. Previously, he had brought up the pilgrim roll, thinking that Linwoody's silence was because he was afraid and would definitely submit. Moreover, if the Great Desolation Mansion came again, Linwoody would definitely die. However, Linwoody did not submit at all. Instead, he attacked and killed the person who had provoked him. Linwoody did not care about the pilgrim roll or the dazzling genius at all. He was a lunatic. Would Linwoody attack him now? Sure enough, he felt Lin Xian's gaze on him and his eyelids twitched. What are you trying to do? At this moment, the young man no longer had the arrogance from before. Instead, there was a deep sense of fear. This person was a great demon who did not play by the rules. The people on the pilgrim roll were powerful, but they only represented themselves. If you want to rely on the pilgrim roll to show off, fine. However, if you want to use the power of the pilgrim roll to suppress me, then you're too naive. Lin Xian took a step forward. The 2 types of laws on his body condensed to form a strange taiji pattern. He even mobilized the surrounding yin and yang qi to form a force of heaven and earth. The pressure was so strong that the young man from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion could not withstand it at all. With a thud, he knelt on the ground. His body trembled. No, don't kill me. He begged for mercy in horror. He knelt. The 10,000 Swords Pavilion had knelt. The people around him had all gone crazy. Lin Xian was the same. He threw his head back and laughed, his eyes filled with endless arrogance. The 10,000 Swords Pavilion, the Great Desolation Mansion, whoever stood in his way? He would kill them all. Chapter 39-32. Wasn't the 10,000 Swords Pavilion arrogant? Didn't they think that no one dared to provoke them? Well, he would let them know what despair was. He wouldn't kill them, but he would torture them. He wanted to defeat their pride and make them grovel before him. That was 100 times worse than killing them. As expected, the young man from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion came to his senses and realized that he had already knelt before Lin Fan. He couldn't take it anymore. He spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted from anger. He would probably live in Lin Xian's shadow for the rest of his life. Of the two geniuses, one fainted from anger, and the other was killed. The remaining people didn't dare to rebel. They obediently followed Lin Xian's orders and began to experiment like lab rats. Thus, Lin Xian began to decipher the formation. A few days later, the aura of the place completely spread. A terrifying figure descended and roared in all directions. Lin Wudi, prepare to die. A huge seal slammed down. It was incomparably black, and it covered the sky and the earth. It directly enveloped Lin Xian. With a bang, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Lin Xian's body swayed, and he dodged the attack. Then, he looked into the distance. An expert had arrived. The others were also stunned. In the next moment, they saw a majestic man in a battle robe descending. It was the man from the Peacock tribe. It seemed that he was here for revenge. On the other side, a golden light filled the sky. The golden rock also appeared. The saber light on his body destroyed a part of the world. You're still alive. Very well, I'll kill you with my own hands. His voice was filled with endless dominance. In the sky, flames spread. A phoenix spun, forming a beautiful figure. It turned into a fire phoenix. Kid, I'll make you wish you were dead. The fire phoenix roared angrily. Her eyes were also filled with monstrous killing intent. They were already aware of what had happened. Lin Fan dared to humiliate the 10,000 Swords Pavilion. She had to kill him. 3 experts had arrived. Everyone was in an uproar. They knew that Lin Wudi couldn't escape this calamity. The people on the Pilgrim leaderboard were famous, but they were too far away, and they didn't come to the Golden Palace. So, Lin Wudi dared to make a fuss. But now, 3 great cultivators had descended together, joining forces to kill Lin Xian. This time, Lin Wudi should back down and be afraid, right? Oh, they're all here? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and looked around. That's good. Saves me the trouble of looking for you guys one by one. Today, I'll kill you all. He was very excited. In his opinion, one was not enough. Only when the 3 of them worked together would he be able to use Taiji with all his might. In this 1 year, my growth in strength is not something you can imagine. The man from the peacock race coldly shouted. The golden rock also said coldly, Today, I will definitely kill you with my sword. Lin Wudi, you're too arrogant. Today is the day you die. Fire Phoenix also stood out, surrounded by murderous aura. She was the first to strike. Terrifying sword techniques swept through the air, heading straight for Lin Xian. The golden rock also attacked. The 2 of them attacked together. Their power was extremely terrifying. The surrounding people went crazy. Heavens, were the 3 experts going to attack together? It was unbelievable. They thought that with Lin Wudi's status and strength, he would at least fight one-on-one. Wasn't it a little too much for the 3 of them to attack together? However, the 3 of them didn't seem to be embarrassed. At this moment, they attacked crazily. The golden rock roared. Rays of light slashed down from the sky, turning into terrifying beast phantoms that pounced on Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted and waved his hands. The death and sun precepts quickly condensed and were pushed out by him. With a boom, the terrifying yin and yang completely shattered the other party's blade. Not only that, but this force also attacked the golden rock. So strong. The surrounding people were stunned. They knew that the golden rock had changed in a year. It was absolutely incomparable. It was far from comparable to before. In their opinion, Lin Wudi might not be able to block it. But now, even Lin Wudi's strength was really shocking. What had the other party experienced in this year? The golden rock was also stunned. Although the attack just now wasn't his most powerful attack, he didn't hold back. But even so, he was easily sent flying by the other party. This was a little too unbelievable. What kind of power did the other party use? Why did he feel that there was a terrifying yang force and a terrifying yin force, and the two seemed to be fusing? Impossible? He roared crazily, dodging the other party's attack. At the same time, he attacked aggressively. The other two also attacked. A fiery red sword appeared in Huafeng's hand. With monstrous precepts, she slashed forward. Incomparably brilliant sword light flashed, and terrifying precepts filled the air. On the other side, Mr. Peacock and Gungzi roared. Their palms turned into a large five-colored seal and fell from the sky. It was like an ancient divine mountain that could suppress everything. Kill! Lin Xian roared to the sky. He wanted to fight the three experts alone. At this moment, he was extremely strong. The death precepts in his left hand and the sun precepts in his right. His hands met, and the two forces merged perfectly under the effect of Tai Chi Kill. At this moment, the yin and yang forces on Lin Xian's body trembled, and a terrifying aura filled the air. He charged out powerfully. With a wave of his hand, the yin and yang light cut through the space in front of him like lightning. He sent the other party's sword chi flying. At the same time, he raised his foot and blocked the mountain moon seal in the sky. Lin Xian's attacks were bold and powerful, and his strength was incomparable. He fought with the three experts, and an earth-shattering sound was heard. The surrounding people went crazy, and their eyeballs almost fell out. This Lin Wudi was too heaven-defying. He could really fight the three of them alone? This was impossible. Many people screamed crazily. Lin Wudi's strength was extremely strong. If he could fight against any one of the three experts, then they could believe it. But to fight against the three of them together, they couldn't believe it even if they were beaten to death. What kind of strength did these three people have? If they joined forces, no one would be able to stop them. But now, Lin Wudi blocked them. How was this possible? The people of the Holy City were also shocked. The young man from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion was so scared that he knelt on the ground again. Originally, he thought that with their senior sister Fire Phoenix here, he could hold his head high and avenge him. But now it seemed that it would be difficult to achieve. Golden Rock, Fire Phoenix, and Peacock's pupils shrank, and their hearts were filled with shock. They were quite confident in their own strength. In their opinion, if the three of them attacked crazily without caring about their own safety, wouldn't they be able to kill the other party in an instant? But now, more than 50 moves had passed, and they were still unable to do anything to the other party. Damn it, the other party's aura was too terrifying. It seemed to have turned into yin and yang. The surrounding yin and yang chi was being mobilized by the other party. Could it be that this kid had obtained the yin and yang inheritance? Or had he cultivated the yin and yang laws? Chapter 39-33. Damn it. No, they had to capture this kid. They had to find out his secrets. The three of them were envious. They were envious of the strength of one against three. They had to obtain this power. Buzz. The man from the peacock race was the first to attack. He roared and a large seal appeared in his hand. It was a large black seal that looked like black jade. The moment it appeared, it suppressed the world. The surroundings instantly darkened. Those who were watching the battle felt their hair stand on end. Retreat quickly. What was that? That black seal was too terrifying. It was even more terrifying than the ice fan. Everyone now understood why the peacock man did not want the ice fan. It turned out that he had a better treasure. When the seal landed, the golden rock and fire phoenix were extremely shocked. They sneered. The other party should be dead now, right? Lin Xian also felt a chill down his spine. This should be the other party's trump card, right? No wonder he was so arrogant before. He had indeed obtained an incredible opportunity. He snorted coldly and activated the Tai Chi art. The power of death and the law of sun gathered in his hand, forming a Tai Chi art. He pushed it out. Boom. The Tai Chi art was as fast as lightning. It broke through the sky and hit the black seal. With a loud clang, the pitch-black seal was sent flying. Not only that, the speed of the Tai Chi art did not slow down. It quickly attacked the Peacock Man. How was that possible? The surrounding people were completely stunned. The Golden Rock and Fire Phoenix could not believe it. The Peacock Man's pupils constricted. How powerful was that seal? He was confident that it could suppress the Golden Rock and Fire Phoenix. Could he not kill the other party? However, the other party sent him flying with a single attack. Damn it! What was that yin-yang light? It was too terrifying. He quickly retreated, but he realized that it was too late. That lightning-like killing intent had locked onto him. Damn it! He could only activate his battle robe to protect his body. With a loud boom, the attack landed on his battle robe and sent him flying. Boom! The void shattered, the sky collapsed, and the earth cracked. The yin-yang energy completely exploded. The Peacock Man vomited large mouthfuls of blood. He was too frightened. He was injured. How was that possible? The surrounding people were also screaming nonstop. That was an ancient battle robe made from the skins of dozens of sages. Its defensive power was astonishing. Not many people under the Minor Saint realm could break it. But now, it had been broken by Lin Wuti. No, the Saint battle robe was not damaged. It was just that the impact was too strong. The Saint battle robe was unable to completely block the attack, so the power was transmitted, injuring the Peacock Clan cultivator. There were experts analyzing the situation at the back. When the others heard this, they sucked in a breath of cold air. Just what kind of power could be so powerful? Look, what is that yin-yang light? Everyone screamed. They saw that the yin and yang energies did not disappear. Instead, they were spinning in the sky. Could it be the yin-yang diagram? At last they were frightened. Two yin-yang fishes circled in the air. If this wasn't a yin-yang diagram, then what was it? Did Lin Wuti master the power of origin? Damn it! He had obtained a heaven-defying fortune. At this moment, everyone went crazy. They finally understood why Lin Xian dared to challenge 3 people at once. It turned out that there was such a terrifying source power. Impossible? Did he really know it? Golden Rock and Fire Phoenix were dumbfounded. The Peacock Clan cultivator's face became extremely ugly. His wounds healed quickly, but his face was extremely pale. Why aren't you guys taking action? The 3 of us will use all our trump cards. I don't believe that we can't suppress him. At that time, the power of the origin will be ours. All right. Golden Rock and Fire Phoenix nodded. They no longer stayed behind. Golden Rock took out a yin-yang vase. There were yin and yang energies circulating in it. Fire Phoenix also took out an ancient mirror. The front side was yang and the back side was yin. It carried an extremely terrifying aura. What a terrifying treasure. It actually contained yin and yang energies. It seemed that these 2 people had also obtained an incredible fortune. These should be 2 saint artifacts. The surrounding people's eyes turned red. However, Golden Rock and Fire Phoenix's eyes were even redder. Although they had obtained such saint artifacts and their power was unparalleled, how could they be compared to Lin Xian? Lin Xian himself knew how to use this kind of origin power. It was a completely different concept from wielding a saint artifact. They naturally wanted to master this power themselves and not rely on the saint artifacts. However, they were still confident. Although Lin Xian had mastered this source power, so what? Lin Xian only had a year's time. He wouldn't have cultivated it too deeply. He should have only grasped a little. If the 3 of them joined forces, they should be able to suppress him. Kill him. Golden Rock roared. The yin-yang vase in his hand released a terrifying aura. It quickly swept towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt a terrifying, devouring power that seemed to want to swallow him. It seemed that the yin-yang vase could suck people in and then refine them with yin and yang energies. On the other side, Fire Phoenix also made his move. He struck out with the yin-yang mirror in his hand. 2 completely opposite forces flew out. This was a fatal blow. Peacock roared angrily. The pitch-black seal fell again. This place had been completely destroyed. Everyone was sent flying. Many of them coughed up blood. Their eyes were filled with fear. It was too terrifying. With the 3 of them attacking, there was probably nothing that could stop them. Lin Xian's eyes were also filled with murderous intent. Lin Xian's face was also extremely gloomy. He crazily activated the Tai Chi art. A Tai Chi pattern appeared on his body. Xiao Qian swung his fists, opening and closing them wide. Every strike contained the might of Taiji, extremely strong. Boom! He reached out and grabbed the seal, controlling it in midair. On the other side, the terrifying yin-yang mirror's light was also kicked away by him. Lin Xian didn't resist the terrifying devouring power at all. Instead, he used the force to quickly fly forward. Great! Golden Rock sneered. However, it didn't take long for him to become terrified. He decisively retreated. He realized that the other party seemed to be coming towards him. It seemed that the other party wasn't sucked in by the yin-yang vase. He was doing it on purpose. Lin Xian charged in front of him. The Tai Chi on his body erupted and blocked the yin-yang vase. At the same time, he punched out. Golden Rock retreated and vomited blood. Golden Rock roared and slashed out with the golden saber in his hand. He was crazy. He was actually injured. Moreover, he was injured by the other party so easily. Damn it, he couldn't stand it. This Lin Wudi was too brave. Yes, the three great experts had taken out such terrifying sacred artifacts, but they couldn't do anything to him. No one would be able to suppress him. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.